because I'd like to welcome everybody to episode 4, the FAAFO edition of the 507 Project. And you'll be meeting our special guest later, Michael Pientka. He's a real legend, isn't he, Ron?
Oh, that's an understatement.
I know, right? There's really no vocabulary to really define how great of a man this. But you'll notice there's no camera on me tonight. I have managed to sabotage my own webcam in the process of streaming multiple things over this week and changing PCs about 9 times. So you're going to be graced with Ron's lovely face, and then we're going to bring on the star of the show here shortly. But I've been pretty busy, bro. It's been like 2 weeks since we did anything on here.
Yeah. Busy's an understatement, man. I moved myself, our entire family of 4 from South Dakota back down here, back home, I guess, essentially now to Arizona. So, yeah, it's been a little bit hectic. That's why we've been out of the game for a little bit. Kind of a makeshift little studio thing going on here, but between that, starting a new job, I know you started.
Uh-oh. We're muted. Hang on. This is our first time using Zoom. I clicked the wrong button. I apologize.
And you fired. No. No, but yeah, I know. And not just me. I know, Jordan, you've been busy as well with, I mean, not alone just your streaming, all that stuff, but just found out the other day that you're starting a new job. You started a new job the same day I did. So just this past Monday.
It indeed, bro. It was Monday was day 1. I will tell you this right now. It's been a long 3 days. I'm working from home. I'm back in the mortgage game. I was actually applying for jobs the last 4 months during this, COVID crap. For those of you who don't know, I used to sell cars. Pretty effing good at it, and that's the vocabulary I choose to use for Ron's editing purpose.
Oh, I don't mind about swearing.
No, I know, but you know how Zuckerberg and the F-bombs are, but the algorithms. But as I pop this glorious gummy, I'll tell you what. I'm glad to be back selling, bro. I'm already excited. I haven't done nothing but sit on a webinar for 3 days on a laptop and 3 monitors. But bro, I'm excited, dude. I'm all jacked up. Not on Mountain Dew, but I'm jacked up. How do you like in your gig, though? That's what I'm really curious about.
I absolutely love it. I'm wearing the old department, Fort Meade Fire.
Represent.
Love those guys. Always will. They treat me right. I wouldn't be in the position I'm in without, to be honest, without my experience at the federal level. There's no way I would have ever landed this job. But as I alluded to in a previous episode, I got hired on as the newest fire inspector for Tempe Fire Medical Rescue Department here in Tempe, Arizona, and it is an incredible agency. It's an honor to be working there, and man, I'm only 3 days in, but it's been to get punny, it's been like a fire hose of information, man. It's crazy, but I can tell 3 days in, I can tell that they're an incredibly well led agency. I have nothing but good things to say so far. I really think this is where I'm going to be till I retire. The biggest thing is the change in schedule, working a shift work schedule on the firefighter side to a normal schedule, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Get holidays off paid, which is a huge difference in the last 5 years as a fireman. I've worked Thanksgiving every single year. I've worked Christmas 2 of those years, Christmas Eve, all my birthdays except one. Not that I really.
That's trash, bro.
Really
that's relatable too. I feel you, man.
So it's pretty awesome to have a job where it allows me to spend a lot more time with family. I'm home every night, and it's cool, man. The schedule is going to take some adjustment. It's definitely an adjustment period, but overall, can't say enough. I really think it's an excellent department. I've been trying to recruit Mike since Monday. So. We'll bring him in.
We're starting with the jokes. Yeah, baby. He's slappers all around.
But yeah, no, man. I'm happy to be back, and it's just I like the Black Hills, but it honestly just feels really good to be back back home in Arizona.
Oh, man. And you got the whole family back, your other family's here. So pretty much everybody's here, minus our homies back in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, we've pretty much got, I mean, yeah, my fam and friends are there, but I mean, I've got my family and friends here. Now you're back here. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time before this, the man of the hour wises up and gets out of Fisher Ave for good.
Yeah.
just giggling in the background.
I don't even, I mean, I'd love to see Mike and the guys up there, but I'll be honest with you, man. The way things are right now, I don't really even have any interest in traveling to Minnesota, if I'm being completely honest.
Amen. I mean, traveling anywhere right now is tough. I mean, it's a tough gig, It's kind of either do it or don't, but do it or don't.
But like Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, there's just certain areas where I
have no idea what's going on. I can't wait for Mike to tell me all about it. So I think, at this point, we've pretty much bored everyone with our new awesomeness, new jobs, yada, yada. And the best part for you guys is the followers of the 507 Project. We've secured employment, so backgrounds are done. Social media checks are done. Unlock, unhinge, let's go. Rock and freaking roll. So I'm going to bring on the man of the hour here. He really doesn't need an introduction. The internet already knows. Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey called me and asked for his autograph to have him sign some stuff. I told him, obviously, it's going to cost you not free. And, of course, Mike declined. That's not something he does. But how long have you known Mike?
And I met Mike, we were in, I believe it was second grade. We were in a class together. So I have no idea how we came about friends. We probably just said, hey, man, you want to be friends? And here we are, however many years that is. I don't know how old you are in second grade, but yeah, I've known Mike since second grade, since he lived in Nerstrand he had a cute girl neighbor that we all tried to.
Who was that?
I mean, we were super small, but
who was that neighbor again? I can't remember.
I remember her name. I don't know if I should say
there's no backpedaling. This is the FAAFO edition, okay?
I don't even know what that means, man.
It's the fuck around and find out if you don't tell me who the fuck was the neighbor. That's what it was.
Okay. All right.
Her name was Amy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. First names work.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't need a social security number, bro. We're not looking for EINs and W-2s here. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just first name, I still don't know who that is, so we'll take that conversation offline. But without further ado, the #1 glass handler, the #1 Hormel employee of 2012 to 2020. Doesn't even work there. Still employee of the year.
The Drift King himself.
The Drift King. And this next song, this little intro clip, and Ron, don't worry, I've checked for copyright. There is no copyright on this, so we can keep it in here. And I'm only going to play about 10 seconds. But this introduction is really how Mike and I met. This is really what brought, actually, our whole group. This is what really made me, fit in right away at Cub Foods, After, obviously, first friend, #Elliot, E-Moon, E-Money, shout out. I played this song at school, and Mike just fucking died. I thought he was going to have, a stroke, But it's a classic,
1.6 liters. Pacific is more like a rocket than a car. You'll be saying to yourself, damn,
it's
is
really
that a type
incredible.
R?
He had an H22, this beautiful Icon Black Prelude, E-Tech. He was the #1 guy in town. He gave the Blue Impala guy a run for his money for notoriety.
And all that bullshit.
And there's two legends.
For those 10 seconds of
There's the Blue Impala guy and Michael Pientka.
I'm free.
I'm very excited to bring on. There he is.
Oh, that's funny. Where's the song?
Oh, it's playing on Facebook. You'll see it later, though. All I'm going to say is McNasty's back, bitches.
Is it the VTech song? Or
You're
is
damn
it,
right. All right, so that's all I can play. Otherwise, we're going to run into copyright problems, and I don't want Ron to hunt me down and kill me. So, Mike, welcome, buddy. Look at that background.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. We've been pestering you left and right. I don't even know if pester is the right word, but bombarding is probably more accurate.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but, we made it work.
God, he's out angling us too, bro.
I know.
Jesus.
Look at that.
I thought we had a solar eclipse there for a second. Nope, just his back.
Bedroom, you like it?
Unbelievable. Yeah, dude, I love the garage. Looks dope.
It's pretty sweet.
It is.
I had to rent my house out to everybody else so I could afford it in the garage.
Nice.
You gotta pay for those new piston rings in that Blueberry.
Not a bad deal, right?
Or no, it's calipers. It's brake calipers. That's right. You knew brake caliper.
You knew everything.
Hashtag people don't forget.
Careful with those brake caliper jobs on WRXs. One of those ended up taking me like 2 weeks on mine.
Just call Larry.
Yeah, I remember
It's done
that.
for you.
I replaced the master cylinder, replaced brake lines, just a shit show.
It truly is incredible. But I'm playing
Yeah,
a
that's
little
why we had
fun
to
show.
take.
What's
That's
that?
why we
What?
had to take Jordan's truck up to the rally.
The
Remember, we were
Ojibwe.
supposed to take my
That's
car.
right. That's
Oh,
right.
yes. We had to take the truck.
Jordan gets home from Chicago 6 hours later. Ron's like, hey, you want to go up to a Ojibwe Forest rally and bring your Duramax? I'm like, yeah, let me just unload my entire life real quick. And then we hauled up there. He's like, don't really have anywhere to sleep. I don't care. Slept in that was the greatest weekend ever, though, dude. We met Dave Mira, R.I.P., and Travis Pastrana. And that was probably one of the coolest weekends we had. That was a damn good time.
And you know what? Out of all the like Ken Block, Pastrana, Mira, the big names there. It was weird because it was a rally event. Dave Mira was like probably the least popular of those three. So yeah, we actually ended up. That was so cool, man. Even at the time, we got to. You remember at the Park Expose, we actually got to sit there and just bullshit with Dave Mira for a long time.
Ben Utek and the Zip Tie Boys, Carl,
Yep.
that little guy. Yeah, no, it was great. But yeah, Mike, so what's your deal? You look furious. Why have you been so mad? I log on Facebook and you just, it's level 12, dude. It's Chernobyl meltdown.
Well, I'm jealous about that weekend you guys had. I didn't get the invite to that.
Yeah, you were busy. I tried to text your Katana Dose. I got the busy signal. Still waiting for a text back 19 years later. It's okay. One day.
Something. It was like an out of office reply for the Sophomore Express. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, we're digging.
Yeah, I
love it.
was probably busy doing something. Who knows?
Yeah, some people
Pretty
did something.
occupied.
That's right. That was you. Was that too soon? Mike, you look triggered. What'd I do? What'd I say? Uh-oh. Look at him. There he goes. He's done.
No,
All right,
no
Mike.
trick.
Hey, Mike, I got one for you. Just like a kind of, not kind of, just a really standard run of the mill. I'm sure there's people watching this right now, even, and there will be people watching this that have no idea who you are for as much as we know about your history and all our escapades and joint ventures. Give us like a quick Cliff Notes version of who is Michael Pientka?
Oh man. Well, I'll start at May 22nd, 1990, 11:07 a.m. My mom was gifted with me.
She was.
I don't know if I'd say gifted, but yeah, it happened.
Nah, she was. She would agree.
100%.
Let's see here. That's a hard question. I don't know. I met Ron when I was seven, 8,
Something like that.
23 years of friendship.
Oof.
Produce, I met him working at Produce and at Cub Foods, right?
Yeah, I skipped right past Clean Team, baby, right to the top.
Clean team for life. That's funny. Let's see here. Went to school in Northfield. They Harvard of the Midwest, Mankato State.
That is the Harvard of the Midwest. That's a fact. Fact check that, Zuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see, went to
Mostly
work at
false.
Amazon for about 5 years. And then moved up here to Amazon for a while. And now I'm on to a couple of new things. So
Amazon? What, you left Amazon?
I did, yeah.
What? Did you send Jeff a letter just tell him to piss off?
Yeah, he wouldn't let me be CEO, so I got mad and quit, you know.
Well, I don't blame you, bro. So what's next then? What? When did that happen? I had no idea that happened.
Just recently, I don't even know, a few months, well, like 5 months ago. I guess not recently. but-
Okay, that's dope. So what's
Pretty
next?
recent in the scheme of things.
Yeah. 2020, it's been a shit show so far, but
Yeah.
we're surviving.
Been a little
Yeah.
slippery. Been a little slippery.
Hey, it's not all bad.
No, definitely not all bad. And we'll get to the good. But since we're on some of the quote bad, that's right. Steven Wilson says hello to Mike and Cub Foods. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Tyler TFK Kurt. Hello, homie.
Been a
Hope the
while.
sales are going well at the, I believe it's Margenthaler Chevrolet there. If you're looking for a Chevy in southern Minnesota, hit up my boy Tyler Kurt, #ad. He's a good dude. He'll take care of you.
Perfect.
But I need to know, Mike, what? You open up your own business now? Are we getting a fucking whirly
No,
bowl
I'm
in
actually working on
Tempe?
that right now. I just need to get the rest of the funding. So if you want to put my Venmo up here.
Yeah, let's put in the chat. At
But no, I'm actually really close to starting, well, buying a commercial cleaning company, and then hopefully I can expand that and then live the dream like you guys. So
hell yeah, brother.
that's the
I love
plan.
it.
Let's see what happens.
Commercial cleaning company. Now
Yeah.
that's dope.
In the meantime, I'm working somewhere in Minneapolis as an operations manager, so it's not all
Cool.
bad.
All right, I dig it. You staying safe up there while you're downtown? He laughs.
Yeah, as much as I can.
What's it like going downtown now?
I mean, it's fine during the day. I bring Elliot with me every time I go there, so
Right.
that way I'm good. But it's different, man. Like uptown and that area. I shouldn't say uptown. Like west of 35, right there. Like as you get to Minneapolis, it looks like fucking Somalia. Like it's just burned down. Everything's burned down and graffitied, and like, yeah, it's nuts. It's like a war zone. But I guess that's what they want. So let them have it.
Yeah, who's they?
I don't know, but yeah.
That's the city of Minneapolis, apparently.
Yeah, the city is. Now you don't live in Minneapolis. You live out in the
No.
suburbs somewhere, right?
I'm south of Minneapolis.
Yeah,
about
okay.
20 minutes.
So looking at downtown, I read an article today, and this will probably just start stirring the pot up. But it was an article about the city council had held some meeting about the police officers not showing up to stop some street racing and carjackings, and they want to know where the cops were at. I'm just sitting here reading this. I'm like, yo, I'm not sure if this is real satire, if this is like the Babylon Bee, the Onion. I don't even know what kind of. I'm not sure shit. It's the New York freaking Times, and I'm like, what? You got the city council director, president, whatever the hell you want to call her, up there complaining because the cops aren't showing up when you.
It's
I just don't get it.
But it's not. Like that's the world we're in right now. It's very hypocritical, you know? Because if I recall, they were just talking about defunding the police like what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Yeah, it's been
and
for.
they want to know where the police are.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You made them all quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. I've never been a cop, but just working in public safety, I can tell you that recruitment's going to be a pain in the ass for that department moving forward.
You think so?
Yeah, who knows? But I don't know. I think there would it'd be an increased likelihood too of receiving the type of applicants that are probably looking into the job for the wrong reasons. You know, I would think that kind of stuff would increase. Like, who wants to be, you know, if somebody wants to be law enforcement to try to help people and things like that right now, I wouldn't look into Minneapolis. I'd probably look elsewhere. But
yeah, I don't know how anyone wants to do that right now. It's tough.
It's not great job security when they're talking about defunding you. So
Yeah, exactly. Boy, howdy, that sounds like a fun afternoon. You know, just here in Phoenix today, you know, a federal not bodyguard, but a federal officer was shot right outside downtown at the courtance. Federal courthouse.
yeah, that was yesterday.
Or yesterday, yesterday afternoon. And dude just walked up and shot him because he wanted to kill a cop because of what happened in LA. And it gets glorified by the left, and now you get copycats. And the copycat syndrome has always been a problem. It's always been an issue. You glorify these, you know, whether it's, you know, pedophiles during Pizzagate or the Harvey Weinsteins and the Epsteins of the world, who neither of which have killed themselves ever in this lifetime we're living, for the record.
Right.
But yeah, I just, you know, there's a lot of things going on now where you have to really tread carefully. And you being up in Minnesota, I mean, down here in Arizona, it's, you know, like I said, you had the first copycat down here. We haven't had really any riots. We had some protests and looting down in Scottsdale, but nothing like you saw in Minneapolis. I mean, that was insane. And then the guy was killed, or that died in custody. Not even sure what the right verb is. I'm sure this video will get taken down now, but whatever. It's been 4 months now, I think, right? We're at like month 4 since George Floyd. And a lot of information has come out, and people just seem to not care about the facts. I want to know what you think. You lived in Minnesota at the time. You've been working downtown. You've seen all this the last 5 months. So compared to what you thought Minnesota was, how do you feel about your state's current state of affairs? And what do you think they're going to have to do to start fixing it? Not fix it in general, but just start the process.
It sucks, honestly. So the way I look at it is like, what are our history books gonna read for 2020? You know what I mean? Like U.S. history, what is it gonna say for this year? You know, it's almost embarrassing. Like, I don't want to be a part of that generation that burned the country down because of false narratives by the mainstream media. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of scary in a way because like I don't want Minneapolis to become the next Detroit. Not that I live in Minneapolis, but like that affects the entire state. You know?
Absolutely. That's a major hub.
Yeah, it's a huge hub, and like that brings in how much tax dollars, you know, for the entire state and like all that stuff. It's just like as soon as corporate headquarters start leaving Minneapolis, like what is Minnesota gonna have to offer? You know?
Dude, that's a damn. I mean, is 3M still there?
So
But they moved,
3M,
didn't they?
yeah, they're still here.
Yeah, barely.
3M still. I don't think any of the huge Fortune 500 ones that I've heard of.
But like, dude, like Target, you got your headquarters broken into like multiple times. Like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. It's BS.
I mean, you as a potential, it sounds like you're going to be a small business owner here.
Yeah, that also scares me too. Like, I think I'll be fine because I'll be south of the cities, but yeah, it's definitely going to affect like potential, you know, income and customers and whatnot.
Definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at, you know, now you have to go on the other side to prospect. You know, you've been managing and running operations for years, and now you're just going to do it on a higher level.
Right.
And now you've got politics, media, and just general society just saying, no, piss off, Mike, you're not doing this. We don't want this to
Yeah,
happen.
that's what's scary. And then I don't know. I mean, we need to vote and vote for the right things and educate ourselves on what we're voting for. What it comes down to, you know.
Absolutely. What advice would you have for somebody who's undecided right now? Well, no matter what side of the aisle they're on.
Yeah.
What kind of
That's
research? What do you recommend they look into to try and figure out how to think for themselves?
Like read up on the actual facts. Like don't just take, you know, Fox 9 or CNN's word. Like look into each candidate, and even like at your small level, like state, city, like government, that stuff matters.
That's up, in my opinion, more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like read what they want to push. Like what is their idea on, you know, property tax or income tax, or like where's that money going to go? Like what do they envision? You know, because it's easy to say like, oh yeah, we're going to make sure everyone's, you know, got what they need, but is it doable? Is it going to happen? Like St. Paul just passed some law. They're going to experiment on giving 150 families a minimum income to see how it goes. Like, of course it's going to go well. Who wouldn't take free money and be better? You know what I mean?
Well, for them, that's going to strain the tax base, though.
Whose idea was this?
I don't know. St. Paul mayor just passed it.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, things like that. It's, man, that money, all money comes from somewhere. You know what I mean? So that's going to have to get pulled from somewhere else in the budget or reallocated or held, something like that, you know, with the culture up there. I have no idea. This is totally anecdotal. This probably isn't true, but who knows? It could be coming from something like public safety. You know what I mean?
Well, it is. So, like, yeah, to that point, like me and you're both in the fire service, you know, like Minnesota is the third highest tax in the nation, but yet we are the 47th ranked as far as how much we spend on public safety, like fire, EMS, cops. How?
So that
makes no sense.
Yeah, that's something that's always been crazy to me. So since I first initially even started looking into the fire service, like here in Arizona, I'm sure we have volunteer fire departments in the state, but not like the Midwest.
Yeah.
And it's not many. I mean, we are very well funded, very, very fortunate in the fire service here.
Yep.
But the backside of that, not just because like, hey, cool, it gives me a job. Yeah, that's great. And I'm very appreciative. You know, and I pay taxes here too. But it's better peace of mind. It's something that I think a lot of people don't think about. I think about after, you know, when you've ran EMS calls and all that stuff. Been working out in the streets on an engine company for a while, like I was, when I first got into the fire service here in Arizona. Then transitioning to somewhere like South Dakota where I live, which is also mostly volunteer, just like Minnesota.
Yeah.
It definitely affects your survivability. I mean, very directly. Which is crazy at a state that like the city you live in is a pretty solid tax base. I mean, it's not huge, but
No, but it's got, yeah.
I know their property values and things like that. That it's
right. Exactly.
there's money floating around, and I know they have a very well funded police department, which is great. But it's just crazy to me that they don't have any, even a single full-time engine company there to run EMS, because that's something I thought about. Again, on the Black Hills, I'm, driving with the family down to, Hill City or Custer, one of these places for the day. It's like, man, if we get a wreck out here, if any of us are critically injured, we're absolute best case scenario, you're 30 to 40 minutes from help.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, right? Yeah.
Whereas here, like, where I live here in Arizona, and I know if I call 911 that somebody's coming in quick. What I mean? If screw me, I don't really care. But like for my family, if my family needs something, yeah. I know that and not only that they're going to be here, and this isn't dogging volunteers, man. I tell you all the time, like volunteer departments, paid on call departments, stuff like that. I have the utmost respect for those people. The ones that take the job seriously, that show up, do the right things, that train, that actually take part in, trying to build a better public safety net for their community, essentially. Especially when they're getting not paid or paid not very well whatsoever for the time and effort it takes to actually do this job efficiently.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate it, but it is nice too, knowing here that the hiring process and things like that for fire departments in this area is very, very thorough. They hire people, personalities, because you can train, like I was talking the other day to you, you can train anybody to spray water and, do CPR and all that kind of stuff, but
yeah.
They hire personalities. Yeah. And so that the people aren't only going to show up in an expedited fashion, but you're going to get good quality, ALS care from the get-go. But that's a whole tangent, sorry. But that's how I feel about that.
I agree. I mean, yeah, 100%. But yeah, I mean, we just Minnesota's very very liberal state, and I mean, there's ups and downs to it. Like as far as like the welfare aspect of it goes, I agree 100% that it needs to be there. I mean, I utilized it when I was growing up. Like if it weren't for that, I don't know where I'd be. But I also got off of it and became, a contributing member of society, which should be the goal. But I feel like a lot of these programs keep people in a place of poverty, and it's just never ending cycle,
So just real quick, if I could build on that, I'm glad you mentioned that, because like I've known you a really long time. I know a decent amount about your upbringing and your history and things like that. So you're to be honest, you're kind of my personal go-to example, because I had no one's childhood's perfect, but I had a pretty damn good childhood. I had it, both my parents didn't inherit money or anything. They worked hard and made, some of the right choices financially and stuff like that, and were good with their money. So they were able to provide for us. So I had everything I ever needed when I was a kid, and a lot of shit that I just wanted, I wouldn't say I was like super spoiled or anything. My parents taught me to, the value of $1 and to work for things and things like that. But anyhow, so you're, in my mind, my closest example, because I know you so well in your story, of when I hear people, it's frustrating me in the sense of I feel it's disrespectful to you and anyone who comes from, an underprivileged background, when people talk about how, or insinuate that if you're born into a situation, or, you're poor, you have a single parent household, or you live in a certain neighborhood, all these things, that you're essentially fucked. Like,
Yeah.
they talk about it like you're stuck
Product
there.
of your
Like,
environment. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And how, hey, the only people that can bail you out and fix this is the government, and you need us to come in and do all this for you because you can't do anything yourself.
Exactly.
So where I'm going with that is obviously it's boils down to personal accountability and your own decisions, but is there anything you can think of in your mind that I guess steered you, because you had a lot of leeway as a kid as well, as far as your left and right limits were pretty wide. You had a lot of room to play around in there.
I had 100% freedom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's just the right person, Yeah. So I grew up in a unique situation. I don't know how to explain it. Single parent household, I guess, to a point, but at the same time, both my mom and dad were there for me, 100%. I chose to stay with one over the other just because, that's why I went to school and all that, and, my friends were there, and also because I felt like that one needed me more, It was.
Well, that says a lot right there.
It was the much poorer choice as far as financials and whatnot, but I don't regret it. My life probably would have been way different had I lived with the other parent. But I don't think I would be as good of a person and have seen, I saw both sides of it. I saw rock bottom, and I saw the middle class family life, which is, I think, super unique and kind of gives me a good perspective on things. Cause I have empathy for people, but to a point, because I've also been there and I've done what I need to do to get out of there, So, I guess to me, it was just always I just always had a sense of taking care of those around me. And that was my motivation. Like I said, if it weren't for EBT and WIC and all that, I don't know if I would have eaten some nights, and it's different, because I could have at any given point just been like, hey, I'm out, I'm going to my, I don't want to say mom or dad just in case, just to leave it anonymous, but I could have been like, hey, I'm going to go to their parents, see you, good luck. But I also had younger siblings, and I couldn't look at them and be like, hey, good luck, peace out, have fun. So I had to grow up quick, but I think it was good because I don't know, it just made me who I am today. And I think I'm all right now, but I think I did all right for myself. I didn't want to be the statistic that says hey, you're a single parent kid who grew up poor, you're not going to go anywhere, you're going to, live in Section 8 housing forever and rely on the government, and it's just a never-ending cycle, or do drugs or all that crap. That could have been easily, I could have taken that route, no problem. That probably would have been the easier route, but I guess once you see rock bottom, you never want to be there again. And for me, what really got to me was, actually, it was one morning I left your house, and you gave me your Xbox to go play that snowboarding game, Amped, because you were going on vacation a week. I remember I went home, I think I was 15, and I go in the house, and there was no power on, no nothing, I was like, oh, this is weird. So I just walked downstairs in my room, and I'm going down there, and no lights are working. I'm like, what the hell? Must be a circuit. So I checked the breaker, nothing's tripped, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, hey, Mom, what's going on? Run upstairs, and she's on the couch, and she's just bawling. And I was like, fuck, what happened? And she broke down saying how far behind she was on bills, and she didn't want to ask for any more help because she felt bad because I was only 15 and all that. And I don't know, to me, I think any guy would agree, the worst thing in the world, or worst feeling in the world is probably to watch your mom cry and you can't fix it, So
that sucks.
Yeah, that stuck with me, and it still does. I think that feeling, that feeling is worse than any feeling of getting up early to go to work or getting up early off of 2 hours of sleep or whatever. That feeling of being I'm tired, I feel sick, has nothing on the feeling of watching your mom cry and being helpless. So I think that fear is it's a good motivator, man.
Absolutely.
It's the number one motivator for sure. And yeah, I mean, after that day, I was like, fuck, I gotta like, nothing I did wrong, but I was like, I never want to ever feel that again. And like that night, I went down to my room and I fucking bawled my eyes out because I was like, what's gonna happen to me, my mom, my sister? You know, I was scared for them, not like crying because like, oh, I'm sad. I was like, fuck, what's gonna happen? You know, and yeah, it just made me think about that and kind of like, you just it sticks with you, you know, and then you just do whatever you got to do to never ever be there again. And if it requires working 12 hours a day, like you just do it.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. But you know, being that young, you know, what do you do? And so I just decided like, hey, I'll obviously I had a job through high school, and but I mean, we still had plenty of fun. Like I don't want to think like people think I was just like a slave to the workforce at 15. Like I mean, we still drank on weekends. We still had a lot of fun, you know. But
Yeah, a lot of Yoo-hoo and Capri Suns, like, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Like I always knew like, hey, I can go drink Friday night and do all that stuff, but also I got to be up at like 8 a.m. to like do this and do that. And like, you know, with freedom comes responsibility. And I think that's where a lot of people fail, I want to say. Like not fail, but like where they veer off track. Like personal accountability is pretty important. Like Rhonda mentioned a few episodes ago. Really, no one can do all that for you. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know, if you can rely on the government handouts all you want, but is that how you want to live your life? Like dependent on someone else? And
Hell
that's
no.
I will control my own destiny from here on out. And yeah, it's a motivator, man. Fear is a big motivator to it. So
it'll kick you right in the butthole.
Yeah,
and it won't miss. It won't miss. But yeah, you made a choice, which has obviously been a really recurring theme for us, I'd say, Ron, on every episode. Yeah. It's just personal accountability. And you could have made a choice right there to just bail, back your shit up and bounce, and just be done. And you never think about it again. Nobody would have bat an eye once you crossed that doorway. But it wasn't the right thing to do, and you're not built that way. So, you know, that type of. There was
times where, like, I mean, you guys know who like was over at my house from time to time. Like, if I wanted to do any drug in the book, I could have been like, hey, you know.
Yeah, snap your fingers.
I could have been
done
down that road in a second in Northfield, and then that could have been my life. But why? You know, like,
yeah,
that's not what I want. Maybe I could have made money, but yeah, temporarily, and like it just, you know, and like you think about, I just felt responsible for, you know, my siblings and that kind of stuff, and I don't know, I just never wanted to ever be in that spot again. So
I feel you. Well, that and you're not an asshole, you know. Right, I just don't think there's a bad bone in your body, to be honest.
No, it might be here and there, but yeah, and then. I mean, so it gets even better. Like when I was 18, I went to college, right? I thought like, I'm going to leave like my family behind. Like they're good. I'm going to go to school. Like no more holding me back. And so this is totally like, if you watch this or whatever, I'm not mad. But like my one parent had access to my checking account because I was like, hey, you know, if something goes wrong, I'm in college, like use my card, you know, pay the bill, whatever. You know, again, at 18 years old, going to school, like I didn't go out and drink my freshman year. I didn't go out to eat. I didn't go party. Like I just did my shit. And I worked a lot because I was doing that like work program, financial aid thing. You know, my first years of college were pretty much paid for, which was kind of nice. But again, like I got that government benefit, but I utilized it and then probably paid all that back in taxes and then some in the next 3 years. You know what I mean?
Capitalized on it. You didn't just take it and run to GameStop and grab a fucking Game Boy. I mean, you knew what to do with it. And that's you know, like you said, the handouts. They're not, you know, it's a handout's a derogatory term, but you know, if there's a government program you want to take that you need to take advantage of,
I'm all for that. Yeah,
absolutely. But you found a way to maximize it and make it better. And you know, like I got laid off this COVID crap, and of course I'm not going to not file for the unemployment. Dealerships weren't hiring, so I took it and I ran with it. And I was able to interview at 68 different places over the last 5 weeks, and I only had 2 places offer me a job. Only 2, not because I wasn't qualified or anything. It was just it wasn't a good fit for either of us, you know. So like your perseverance through that whole thing, it got off. But you maximize. You took it to maximize.
Right.
That's I mean, I had known not all of that. I mean, I've learned a ton right now from you, but like from what I did know, yeah, I knew you were, you busted your butt, you worked. You were at Cub before I got there, and you left after I mean, that's how it was, and it wasn't because like your shifts you just worked and you were there, and I wanted to go home and play Counter Strike.
Right.
That's literally the difference. So, and I commend you for it. Anyway, I mean, your school, I mean, the Harvard of the Midwest. Let's be. I mean, what'd you major in?
Fuck, the worst major you can get, but it worked out for me. Business management.
There you go. Okay. I mean, so there you go again. You took something and just, but you capitalized.
But I made something out of it. So,
almost like you should be a business owner or something.
What's that?
It's almost like you should own your own business or something.
Yeah, maybe someday. Again, need that Venmo.
Yeah, boy.
But anyway, so when I was 18, my first Christmas break back home from college, this is super embarrassing actually. I went to go get gas, and my card got declined over and over again. I'm like, what the hell? I had like $4,000 in there, and kept getting declined. So I go inside to the ATM and check my balance, and I'm negative like, I don't know, like $1,000. And I was like, how? And I actually had to call Sean had to come pay for my gas, and so I already pumped it, and yeah, that sucked. So my first Christmas break as a college kid, I got a phone call from a debt collector like the first day, saying that like I owed so much money and then this and that, and my credit would be dropping. And I was like, dude, I'm just getting going. I'm 18. Like, fuck, I didn't even spend that money, and I don't care. It was for the better of my family, whatever. So I spent the next 3 weeks cooking for $8 an hour not to like go buy like a car or like a pair of shoes or, a computer, but just to get to zero again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, that's why when people cry and complain about like having it hard, I'm like, dude, maybe you did, but I'll show you hard. Like, I'll show you what it's like to be below zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's not a good feeling.
People have worse stories than me, and that's fine. I get it. There probably is way worse than me, but I give a lot of credit to my dad. If it weren't for him, I don't think I would be in the right path in a sense, but
I feel you there.
He held me accountable, and I just, it worked out, I guess, but yeah.
Damn, it's crazy. Yeah, no, that's a hell of a Christmas story. That's I didn't know that. Yeah, dude, I tell you, it's when you went to college, I never really got to come visit you guys. Like, I think I made it there like 1 or 2 times, like for a basketball game or something. I was just cruising through or something.
Yeah.
It was towards the end, I think, when you guys were all there. But like, even so, you were just fucking go. Like, didn't you do security in the parking lot or something, right? Or didn't you?
I had the shittiest job. I had to do I was the asshole that gave tickets.
That's right. You were the meter maid. That's right. Yeah.
But I mean, it was part of my financial aid package. I had to do it like 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Whatever,
No, and that's, I mean, hell, I would have done it too. Absolutely. If I could have gotten into that school.
Because everyone knew who I was, so it didn't really matter. Some benefits.
Yeah, and that's something like for just that whole that whole segment there. For people that don't know you, man, Mike's like a super well-liked guy by pretty much everyone I know. I would say anyone that has an interaction with Mike would consider him a friend. So just some context, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure if you would disagree, but
there's always outliers. No, man. I mean, and I know I can speak for myself, but I've heard similar sentiment from other people in kind of our core friend group that we grew up with. That, man, I think all of us have a hell of a lot of respect for you. Without being savvy, but yeah, man, a lot of us look up to you, even though you're kind of, you're our peer, you're a contemporary, but I know.
Yeah, I mean, it taught me a lot, and it just, I don't know, it humbled me. Like even me, like at work, like I was 22 years old. I was a manager of people that were, in their 50s, some of them. And like, I never view anyone as better or worse. Like we're all people, we all get dressed, we all breathe the same air. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it just taught me a lot about that and like just characters, everything. You know, like what do you do when no one's looking is what really matters. You know, so
Yeah, integrity is a big part of life.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in
Huge.
sales, and that was one thing I learned real quick. And if you can't trust the guy next to you to do what's right when you're not looking at him, it's really hard to operate, especially as a manager. I've been in positions too, not big teams. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 people, but it's nerve wracking. If you can't trust somebody next to you, it's a rough thing. So, I know there was times you hit me up at 2 a.m. for help, Ron, both ways. We had our moments where we all had to rely on each other, but I can't tell you.
We had to use your driveway one night.
Yeah, that's going to be the ending segment. Don't you worry. We're gonna hash out the details of that evening for the record tonight. That's our for the record segment. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Brown, sorry about that. Yeah.
John Weingartner in the chat. What's up, homie? Hope you're safe. Hope the wife and baby are doing well. He looks up to you, Mike. Sean wanted you to know he looks up to you. We all look up to you, though.
Figuratively or in
both, buddy. Both.
Oh, 100%
Listen.
figuratively. There's
we got a question. Stephen Wilson, Mike, wants to know, when did you leave Cub, and how long have you been doing what you're doing now?
Cub fired me, man. I remember that. Cub fired me.
Was it Fink? Did Angela Fink fire you?
No, it was a new dude, a new guy.
Adam Cody? Cub. Was it? Yeah, defund Adam Cody. That's what I want to do. That asshole.
No, I got mono my senior year of high school. Remember that?
Yeah.
You got the Corsair 19.
Well, he got mono. Pretty sure from the same person I got mono from.
Emu 19.
Elliot?
Terrible, yeah.
No.
Oh no! Wait, which? Hail Hydra. That's right. Hail Hydra. There it is. Yeah.
Here for sure, man.
Damn, Steven said Cub fired him too, so don't feel bad, bro. It's all good.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. No, I got mono, so I missed like 4 days straight, and then it was homecoming, I think, and I was like, I'm not gonna work Friday night. I was like, this is my last year doing this. I've worked every other year. Like I'm gonna have it off, and so I had my mom call in sick for me actually. Some of the perks of paying the bills, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it.
And then the next time I went to work, they pulled me in HR and they were like, hey, you missed so many days. And I was like, yeah, I was fucking sick, dude. Like I had mono. And they're like, well, yeah, it doesn't matter. You missed this many days, and you were late, so you're fired. And everyone was pissed. My boss was livid when he found out. He was gone that day on vacation.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I got a job the next week as a cook.
Was that at the #1 establishment for Irish restaurants in Northfield? was that Big Beefs, or which one was that?
Yeah.
It was? R.I.P. We get some rips in the chat for Beef O'Brady's. What an epic time. Remember that time I came in?
That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Remember that time I drove back from Chicago when I was coming back from UT, and I got in at it was 9:38 that night, and you were cleaning up. And you for some reason were like, yo, you back yet? I'm like, yeah, I'm just coming down 3. And you're like, stop in. You made me that triple cheese burger with tots on top. It was epic. I mean, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with.
I used to be a chef back in the day. Now, not so much. I can make a pretty mean Jack's pizza. That's about it.
Oh, Jack's. I miss Jack's Pizza. Shout out to Jack's for making the best pre-frozen pizza you can get for under $3.
Absolutely.
Period.
100%.
The pepperonis were just ever so slightly bigger and thicker when it came to the pepperonis on the Jack pizzas. They were just a little bit better than Tony's. And Totino's and Red Baron, they're all shit.
Anyway, the Jack's crust, man. It's all about the crust.
Yeah,
that's why, hey,
Frost.
Right here, right now. So Portnoy is full of shit because he shit all over Jack's. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports shit all over Jack's during the quarantine.
Whoa, those are fighting words, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be on YouTube, man. We're going to get clipped and Twitter.
I think he gave it a 0.3 or something like that.
Damn, what?
Yeah. He's just salty because they wouldn't send him one for free, so somebody else sent him one, and he just.
He must have had COVID at that point. He couldn't taste it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll definitely write a letter.
Dave.
We'll write a letter. We'll get it notarized. It'll be official.
Oh man.
Yes, you got. Oh, that's crazy, dude. And so how long have you been doing what you're doing? You've been doing that pretty much since you got out of school then, right? So about 8 years
8 years.
in the management world, just telling people
8
how
years
to
in
not die.
operations,
Yeah, I like it. So what did you do at Hormel? I never even knew what you did there. Like,
I don't even know.
I got this one. He stirred the spam. He was the guy.
I don't even know what I did there, man. No, I was a production supervisor. Was the title? Oversaw a department, like a couple manufacturing lines, stirred some spam.
just stirred it.
I don't know.
up,
It's
baby.
like you have a team of like 30 people, and they make some products, and you ensure everything's good. You take care of them. I always told any team I ever had that I work for them. They don't work for me. Just kind of, that's always the mentality as a manager.
Yeah, you want to lead, not boss.
Without them, I won't have a job. So, I always told them, like, hey, I'm here for you guys.
Yeah,
that was
100%. Yeah, teamwork. You make the dream work. You can use any of the sayings you want in the book. Yeah, so hopefully everybody's got a little background about you now. I've got a much better background. I knew a shitload about you. The next question is a very important one. Are you still on the 7 and 7 train?
Oh, yeah.
That's still your go-to.
That's my go-to, man.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. You've always been consistent. Just a consistent MF. Unbelievable.
7-7s, man.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Now, what would you say your greatest all-time memory is with Ron, and then with me?
Oh, damn.
Yeah. They can be the same if it's that epic, but I figure you've probably got one of each at some point. It can be, whatever. Uncanned, I don't care. We're 30 now, so there's no backsies parents, okay?
We've had a lot of good times.
I know. This is a brain scratcher, buddy.
Yeah.
Pops and
Yeah,
parents.
Well, yeah, that's a handful, man. They'll honestly, so like in our core group, the first one that comes to mind for any of us, like if I was asked that question about anyone, would be Shanzi. Shanzi would be the easiest.
Oh, yeah, the jump.
Yeah.
Jump. Yeah,
Sibley.
exactly.
Sibley. Yeah, go. Done.
No, followed the other Shanzi one would be him texting hiding under a pine tree surrounded by cops.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then getting it, and then allegedly me and V running away, and then Shanzi receiving a text message from Shanzi like 30 minutes later that just said "Cops got me,"
Oh, man.
which led into Mike the next day pulling the most epic.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a meeting with all of our parents. Because Shanzi's parents obviously told our parents that we were all together, and
Yeah.
we show up to this like meeting, and it's me and Shanzi admitting like, yeah, we drank, we messed up, and then here's Mike, who is still hammered.
Oh, God.
I mean,
it's bad.
just like hammered to the point where he's excusing himself to go. Yeah,
everyone threw up in the bathroom.
and he's the one getting all the praise, man. How I said everyone loves Mike, dude, even all of our parents. Me and Shanzi are just getting shit on by everybody. And they're all like, why couldn't you be like Michael? He didn't drink. Like,
people don't forget.
And then they asked us if Elliot was there, and we all just
No.
like we looked at each other like,
No,
what are
right?
you saying? Yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah, we agreed, no.
No, he wasn't there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your question.
No,
I was
no,
like, dude,
that's good.
Shanzi would be an
That's
easy one because of the jump.
Oh, God, yeah. Produce, I think you had a pretty big party at your house, didn't you? Like,
Yeah.
junior year?
Yeah, that was a
Allegedly.
great one. Allegedly, yes. It was that was the
Allegedly.
boxing night, bro. Allegedly UFC
Yeah.
14. Yeah, no, that was
A lot of boxing went on that night.
yes. Yeah, the main event though. Sean says, pretty sure your dad grounded me. Yeah, that's something Big Ron would do. Sean, you grounded
My
Sean.
dad.
Yeah, Big Ron
Ron grounded
just
Sean.
grounds everyone and walks out of the room. Just fuck all of y'all. Just don't look at me. Just don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't think about anything. Just shut up. You're grounded. Yeah, just I love it. Yeah, Sean, you're spot on, bro. Yeah, no, dude, that was a fun time. It was stupid. I can't believe we still to this day, dude.
No, that was good.
It was great, but it was so ridiculous. There's no way that should have went as excellent as it did. I mean,
I
it
don't
was.
remember where I ended up that night, but yeah, I remember being there.
You left with Elliot.
Okay.
Hildall came back with,
Was there?
well, the diva, and well, yeah. Then they had to leave. So, anyways, yeah, no, that would be one of the top 5s for me. Probably top 10 for Mike. I've got some good Mike stories.
Oh God.
Probably shouldn't be on air. I mean, I only made 2 trips out to Karen Park in my entire life.
I forgot about that too.
So let me just say, both times, the only reason I found him was because of Mike. That was it. That was the only time, and Mike wasn't even there. But that is one of my most fond memories. I went to pick you up, and you were with Amber and Tori, and I was supposed to grab you and then go get Sodi, and I couldn't find anyone. I found Karen Park like 2 hours after you guys had all scattered.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That's right, you
yo.
were way late.
Yeah, nobody responded to me after 10 o'clock. I'm like, shit, they got him. They're dead. It's my fault. Oh, no, a bear. And I was freaking out. It was like Friday night, so I had to wait till Monday to see you all at school to make sure you were alive. You know?
That's another... I know this is Mike's episode, but God, we got to get Shanzi on.
I know.
That's another Shanzi story, dude. I got to Karen Park. It was me, Shanzi, and V in the classic minivan. We roll up, and we start... I don't know. I think I hadn't had a drink yet. We'd only been there a few minutes, but Shanzi was just like immediately just allegedly slamming Jameson, and the sheriff's department rolls in. Everybody just scatters, and it's just us like in the parking lot sitting there like well shit. And I was like, I'm not gonna run. I haven't drank or anything. Like I'm good. But I didn't know why Shanzi didn't run because he just
hammered.
And he blew straight zeros.
Phantom breathalyzer, baby.
Done that twice, hasn't he?
There might have been another time. I know for sure that time he did. I think he kept that little mouthpiece for a while. I was like a lucky.
That's right, he did. He kept his pinchy in it. That's right. Inside the cigarette box, allegedly.
Oh, that's funny.
Allegedly.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one for Ron. We got too many memories.
Just pick a speedball tournament.
Fuck, I couldn't pick one.
Just me getting domed at the beginning of every game. That's not a very good story.
Remember when we dyed our hair red for that tournament in Rochester?
I can still see it.
remember that.
It's still coming through pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
I had
there.
pink
There.
hair for
Holy
6
shit.
months, dude. It sucks.
That's how I ended up like this. I just had
Still
to.
see yours.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's that one. Oh man, I remember. I won't get into that.
No, we'll save those stories for a really good night.
I remember driving home in the Blazer from a party at my sister's house in Faribault.
Oh, who was in the back seat with you?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
People don't forget.
That was cool. That was like a Uber.
Y'all got any more of them Hollister hoodies in the back?
Who else was in the car?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant at this point.
Was it just you?
It was your chauffeur. That was
No,
it.
I mean I know who else was in it, but was it other than that? Was it just you? Or was
Yeah.
there somebody? Okay.
That passenger seat was wide open.
Sorry, that must have been super awkward. Mike was like the ultimate Uber then. That should be like there's like Uber XL. That'd be like Uber.
If anybody gets the Uber XXL, it's me. For the 2 a.m. pickups across town in the loudest S10 on the planet in the middle of a snowstorm, or the bourbon, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, brothers, do you think you could maybe run across town and pick up X, Y, and Z for me? She's waiting. Yeah, no problem, dude. I got you. Okay, dude, thanks. Thanks, dude.
Fucking all Mike's chicks are like fucking Little Caesars, just hot and ready for pickup.
God, I wish.
I mean, yes, it's going to be on Mike's tombstone. They were all hot and ready. John says, and Pablo. Don't forget Pablo. I don't know what that means. I wasn't there for that. Maybe that'll mean something to you guys about the breathalyzer story. I don't know.
Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Pablo.
Yeah.
Pablo was getting some new bracelets on, and he was like, "Well, I'm already screwed." So he walked back to the car right in front of all the cops and just started downing beers.
Was he just there painting a picture in front of them, or what? Sorry, I had to. It was too quiet to not tell that joke.
But yeah, man, that's
yeah.
I have a lot of good stories with
We'll have a
guys.
story time. I want to get everybody on a Zoom call. I want to get like all 10 of us on a Zoom call, dude, And then I'm going to get like 10 other people just randomly that you guys won't know that's coming on. And I'm just going to bring them in one by one, and we're just going to story time. It's going to be epic. Yeah, it's going to be epic. I already talked to Trip Demand about it. He's got some Northfield group with like 20,000 people in it. So we're going to collaborate on some shenanigans. It's going to be crazy. I'm really trying to get the Blue Impala guy on. I want to do before episode 10, I want the guy who owns the Blue Impala that's put 397,000 miles on that bitch, strictly on Highway 3, Woodley, and Spring Street. I want him on here. If you can get him, a $50 bounty. Get him on my show. Okay?
The man that never stops driving.
Yeah.
He'll have to do it while he's driving.
That's fine. We'll FaceTime him. Zoom mobile, baby. Let's go. No problem. You know, by now he's got a mount. Come on.
He never stopped.
He's never stopped. Legend has it, Hildal did the only oil change on that car in a decade, and he basically swooped into car time. Hildal jumped in with the window down, crawled under the car with his 14-foot skinny-ass arm, changed the oil while it was running, put oil in it, he dropped him back off, and the guy threw $14 out the window and said adios. And nobody ever saw him again. That's the current legend for the man in the purple or the blue Impala.
Stop driving, man.
Yeah, you can't. That 3.4 will never die. Just like this next segment, Mike, I want to know what's toasting your tortilla right now. What is the one thing you log into Facebook or somebody comments on your thing or sends you a DM and starts roasting you about something? I want to know what's going on, man. You don't have to use names. If you want to, you can. You know, if you decide later that we want to, we can bleep it out. So be as candid as you want. But what?
Oh, that's true.
What is really going on here? Because I know of one situation recently where I haven't seen you that pissed, bro, since your Katana Dose broke and I couldn't pick up what's her name for you that night. Okay? That was you were pissed. You were furious, dude.
I was furious. That was bad.
Dude, I'm telling you.
On that night.
You were very angry. But this, boy howdy, penniless sure are cross. I'm telling you. You got under this chick's skin. What happened?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know why or how, but I guess being a white male is offensive all of a sudden. So, let's see here. How did it start? Hypocrisy and, what's the word? Accountability just drive me nuts. Like, I'm all for, I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on, if you're liberal as fuck or super conservative, whatever. But like at least like call a spade and be fair, you know, to both sides, you know. And so I saw like someone had shared something about how President Trump. It was a tweet from like Ilhan Omar, and then Kamala Harris copied the same thing, and it was like President Trump knew it was deadly in February. He did nothing about it. He downplayed it. He, you know, like tried to hide it, and now there's millions of Americans dead. And I was like, for one, that is extremely inaccurate. Like, there's not millions of Americans dead, you know?
Yeah.
So I commented back. I was like, hey, just so you're aware, like, the president has a board of advisors that tell him, you know, what to tell us, you know, right? And on that board is Dr. Fauci, right? And so I just posted one of many articles of Dr. Fauci saying in February 29th, him saying like, it's not serious, the US is safe, there's no need to alter your lifestyle right now, which is exactly what Trump told us in February of 2020.
Because at that point, the virus wasn't supposed to make it here, which we'll get into later.
Well, no one really knew any, like we've been learning as we go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so everyone's blaming Trump, and I'm like, why? How can you blame a Trump for you or for people dying from a virus? Like when his doctor told him like, hey, it's not a big deal. Like tell them it's okay. Like for one, it just pisses me off because you can't put that on Trump. And two, like any good leader never causes panic in his team. You know what I mean?
Mitigate the loss, baby. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like any good leader knows that. Like you can be going into war, into battle, into certain death, and you tell your team, let's go get them, guys. You know, you don't say, hey, we're probably all gonna die. You know.
Sounds like my Saturday morning sales meetings for the last decade.
Yeah.
Amen.
So like you can't say he downplayed it. He had the information he had, and he made the decision with the best information he had at the time. And to like go put it on him is like, dude, no, have some accountability for yourself. Like doesn't take government to tell you to wash your hands and to like be a clean person, you know?
Yeah. Like shocker.
I don't need someone in a suit to tell me that. That's just common sense.
Yeah, I don't want the government doing a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff they do. And I've been a government employee my whole adult life.
I know you have. You're. You know, Ron. You make a great point because you are a federal employee, right? It's a federal job, right?
Well, no, I have, but now I'm a city. But
Well,
I'm
you're
still,
city,
like,
but you were. I
the
mean,
whole
you've
time I've
been
been in the fire service, plus my time in the military. Basically, my entire adult life, I've worked for the government.
That's what you say. It's from day one, 18, you're 17, where you've been employed. But you've said it very, very, very publicly for many years. You're not one of the libertarian fad boys that has chopped on the back. I've considered you probably my most libertarian friend for at least the last 8 years.
Yeah, Rondo has been pretty consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a matter of hating one side or the other or not wanting to jump on. It's and that's what people don't understand. And Mike, I feel like the last 2 years you've really voiced your opinion publicly and also to us, which has been great.
Because I'll admit it, like in high school and college, like I was fed that liberal democratic stuff, and so I was Democrat. Like, hate to say it, but like as a college kid, I was. So I didn't
That's
know
not your
better.
fault. Yeah, it's not your fault.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you think schools were bad back then. I can't imagine being in college now where it's just get shoved in your nose. But like, yeah, I mean, I remember going to vote in 08, and literally the halls were lined with people like saying, "You're gonna vote for Obama, right?" And it's like, dude, you can't leave me alone, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's just forced on you as a college kid. And like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't very educated on it. I'll admit it. I just assumed it was rich versus poor, which couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? Like that's so not the right way to look at it. But I think a lot of people do look at it like that. They just assume like Democrats are people who want things for free and Republicans are people who have a lot of money. And it's just not true. Like it's not how it goes. There's way more to it. And to me, it's just anything government gives you, they can also take away at any given time.
Absolutely.
So why do you want them to have so much control over your life? Like, like women complain about, I'm not going to be sexist here, but like healthcare or control, which I get. That sucks that it only applies to women and all that. But like, don't rely on government to give you that for free because every 4 years you're scared about losing it. You know what I mean? Like, how about these Hollywood celebs or athletes who make way too much money just freaking fund it themselves, you know? Like, it's easy to do. Like, any private citizen can easily take care of that for everybody out of the good of their heart, or as like a freaking, what do you call that? Like, when someone promotes themselves, you know, like, hey, look at me, I'm a good person kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, they can start their own 501(c).
Yeah, like,
major tax write-offs. Yeah.
Like, why rely on the middle class taxes to pay for your birth control when like you have like I don't know, any celebrity, Cardi B, she could buy every woman in the country healthcare or birth control easily. She might not be able to buy her freaking new Lambo or go out, you know, in her new yacht, but hey, if that's what she feels if she feels so strong about that, like, why don't private citizens collaborate and make that happen instead of giving government control of it? You know, it just blows my mind. Like,
and just to clarify for those tuning in, we have a few viewers. I've actually quite a few people watching right now. If you're just tuning in, this was not a socialist rant, and I know some people are going to see this clip and try and run with that, and that is not what he's talking about. So it's not, hey, somebody should pay for this because I don't want to pay for it. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is if somebody says this should be it and I want the government and make taxpayers pay for it, no. If it's that big of a deal for you and you have the means, why don't you do something about it? Not saying you have to pay for it, but start it. Start the movement. Get that done. Somebody's funding BLM. I'll say it out loud right now. Who knows? Could be George, could be Bill, could be Big OB. I don't know. But we'll find out soon enough. It's going to happen. So, yeah, what you're saying is correct. If somebody thinks it's that, you know, the LeBron Jameses of the world and the Mike Trouts and the people that just complain about everything, they get paid just millions of dollars a month to do nothing but just irritate the hell out of everyone. And, you know, and I get it. You know, you have a talent, and we can get into sports salaries later and how the NHL is underpaid, but that's another episode. But yeah, no, you're 100%. You're 100% right, Mike. So what were you saying, Ron?
No, I agree. the whole thing with like LeBron James stuff. I don't follow basketball or the NBA or just the sport. I don't follow the sport whatsoever. So I know who he is, but that's just because he's all over the place. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that on the like the libertarian free market side. I mean, he makes that much money because that's what his market value is worth, right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, he obviously he's
nothing
bringing
against
in
it.
he's bringing the organizations more money than he's making, so they can profit on it as well. That's why they can all afford to pay him and sponsor him.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
And I know you guys understand that. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I do agree. I just agree in most aspects. It's not, in my opinion, not the government's job to essentially reallocate private citizens' money to certain causes that
Amen.
They may agree or disagree with on both sides. Like I don't want public money going to the NRA, and I don't want public money going to I can't think of like left organizations either. Like I'm in my own bubble as a libertarian, I guess. But anyhow, so oh man, I forgot where I was going with that.
I got you. No, I got you. It's
That's
okay. No, you're trying to tie in that it's not a socialist thing. It's just if you want to do it and you have the means, do it. Don't quit trying to make somebody else in the government pay.
Yeah. Like
that's the beauty of a free society.
Exactly.
Because you can. Absolutely.
So if you have the means to do something and you don't do it, then shut up.
And the government control in general, Mike made a good point, is like, if you didn't let the government dictate so much about your life, you wouldn't have to freak out every 4 years. I think that's a good lesson for people in general, man. I want the president to have as little power as possible so that it doesn't matter if it's Obama, if it's Trump, if it's Joe Biden, if whoever. It shouldn't. The scary thought is that it actually does affect your daily life more and more. It seems like every election cycle, and that's the part that's disturbing to me. I mean, there's all sorts of examples, man. I was listening to Rogan and Edward Snowden. He had him on again, and Snowden made an excellent point. And I disagree with Ed Snowden on a lot, politically speaking, but ideologically we have a lot in common too. And that's one thing. Like Mike and everybody still says liberal, and I got so used to saying that as well. But like, I'm fine. I'm fairly classically liberal, actually, in a decent amount of ways. So it's like this modern movement isn't even like the liberals anymore. It's being taken over by the left, which is like classic liberalism wasn't socialism.
No.
And now, they're saying the quiet part out loud, as Ben Shapiro says, like they've been headed that direction for a while now, and now it's just very open about it. But anyhow, so Snowden was talking about Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, and all that, and how they're going after him. And whether my thing is like the First Amendment isn't about protecting speech that you like; it's about protecting speech that you don't like, and that is unpopular and stuff. Because like. So the founder of WikiLeaks, so if he's being potentially prosecuted, he is for leaking information. He's not the source. It always has been that journalists were kind of exempt from reporting on that stuff. If the government wanted to go after somebody, they'd go after the source. Like like Snowden, they went after him. They didn't go after the Guardian. The people that published his information. This Julian Assange, the Julian Assange thing should make everybody nervous on either side, because when the government starts doing that, then there becomes a precedent. And precedent's huge in legal proceedings, And so if they have a precedent of, hey, now we can go after journalists for publishing things that we don't like, that
can't happen.
That'll change depending if they'll go after Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, whoever. I don't see how we can't at least all agree on that. No matter if you're on the left or the right, like, hey, I don't want the government doing this, man, because
no. Absolutely.
Depending on how this election goes, that could be you. They could shut you up.
Absolutely.
And then 4 years later, like it might be me, or I guess that's a really long-winded.
No, absolutely. No, I get it.
I'm trying to prove my
protect it. Absolutely.
I think like this, right now is a great lesson for everybody to see. Like you don't want to give government that much power. Like if you give them that much power, and someone like Trump, who you are so scared of, wins, like. And you're actually that scared of all your rights going away, like that should be a huge clue. Like, hey, they have too much power. You know what I
Should be
mean?
a big red
100%.
flag. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And
2
that's the part
weeks.
that people need to like open up and realize, instead of just voting for Biden because he's not Trump. Like, hey, how about we start taking some of this power back to the people? Like, it's just so backwards. But like, back to this conversation I had with this person on Facebook, they didn't like that I put the truth out there, and they said I was defending a narcissist, racist devil or something like that. I don't even know what words they come up with anymore these days, but
Nazi, they use the term Nazi too.
yeah. And I was like,
that,
no,
that one offends me.
I was like, yeah,
shouldn't matter.
yeah. I got called that a few times that day too, because I supposedly am defending a Nazi. I don't know, but yeah. So this person said that they just post these things for their viewers to read and decide for themselves. And I was like, no, you don't. You're trying to, it's a straight up lie that you just want to spread. And they said that, like, I'm always playing devil's advocate and defending this terrible person, and that that I have white privilege because I can choose who I want to vote for. And I was like, I think everyone can. Like, I don't think that's a white person thing. And she said, no, if you vote for anyone but Biden, you're racist and a Nazi. There's only two sides to history right now, Nazi or not being a Nazi. And I forget like how it went, but it was just insane. Like, the people that claim to be so against racism and discrimination and segregation literally use those tactics against everybody else. Like, it's just so hypocritical. It blows my mind. Like,
Yeah.
Like you said, they're using the freaking Antifa playbook to say they're not going that way. Like, yeah, you are. You're doing the exact things that like happened in Europe. Like, it just blows my mind how hypocritical they are, like the left will be so against racism and stuff, but then when they select Kamala Harris as the VP, every headline selects a black woman, black female. Like, how does that make you qualified or unqualified? Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It shouldn't even be in the picture.
Shouldn't matter either way. Yeah.
It shouldn't matter either way. It doesn't qualify you or unqualify you for anything. And she wanted to lecture me on how I am extremely white privileged because I can choose who I want to vote for. And then she went on to say that she knows plenty of white males who are going to vote for Biden because it's the only sane choice. And it's like, why do them being a white male matter? Like, I don't think your color of your skin or what's in your pants makes you need to vote either way, And she went off saying that it doesn't affect me because my health care won't be taken away, my birth control won't be taken away, my trans rights won't be taken away, and some other shit that's going to be taken away supposedly. And I was like, isn't that a clue that they shouldn't control that in the first place?
Yeah.
And if healthcare is important to you, get a fucking job that has healthcare. You know what I mean? Like, they're out there.
Yeah.
You got 40 hours a week probably, but they're out there.
Yeah.
And as somebody, this individual, I doubt knows much at all about your upbringing and your history and things like that. So that when we initially talked about this, we were texting or whatever, that caught me right away about like your white privilege and stuff. I was like, man,
it blows my mind.
I've known Mike since second grade, and I was like, man, I wouldn't call his upbringing a one of privilege. I mean, there's people that have it worse for sure, like you said, but I mean, when I look at yours contrasted to mine, I was like, man, I don't think I had the privilege. I had a privilege growing up. I had the privilege of my mom and dad were together, living in the same house, and they both worked their asses off full-time jobs.
Oh, yeah, it was always working. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Milo.
Oh, we got the husk. Yeah.
He's around here. Milo. Hey.
Doesn't care.
He's got his own thing going on.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get so many likes on YouTube now. Yes.
Hey, buddy. Hey, look at the camera.
Milo.
Oh, there's two?
Oh, Luna? Oh, wait. Is that Luna?
Yeah, she's nuts.
Yeah.
Excellent. You always get to have a couple minutes of doggo footage in a video.
But yeah, it just blows my mind how hypocritical they are. Like they use sexism and racism as their first line of defense to say that you're wrong, and it's like, how was that even like a valid argument when you're supposedly so against using that against people? You know, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
But
not something we'll ever really understand. I don't think
yeah,
it's a disease, and it
it's
really it can't be cured. You know, the only cure is there's really only two
scary
cures.
though.
You
You
know,
know?
is you got to vote it out and more cowbell. Those are the
It's
only
just
two
terrifying
options.
because it's like I don't, you know, what's gonna happen 20 years from now. And again, like I just feel like what is gonna be written in our history book for this year? Like
Just redact the whole
it's
year.
gonna be a shit show. Like it's gonna be embarrassing to be like, oh yeah, son, I was a part of that in 2020. I wore a mask over a 99.6% survival virus,
That
and
only
I
killed
watched
9,000
it
people.
burn down because anyone who tried to defend it would go to jail. Like it just makes no sense, you know?
I do know. And that's a great segue because you know what else I don't know? Is why Twitter would take down Dr. Lee Meng Yan's Twitter account. Why they
Yeah.
gotta go and silence the doc? You know about this?
I briefly saw some. I don't know, man. I've been so busy. I briefly saw something about it. I honestly, I don't have a whole lot of context though. I saw. I don't want to comment because I saw a headline from a single source, so I don't. You know what I
Beautiful.
mean? I
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
saw and it looked bad, but one headline from a single source, I'm not going to claim to have any real knowledge.
We're
What I
gonna
saw didn't
link.
look good.
Yeah, we'll link a resource in the video when we post it, but that's something I want to talk about in one of our upcoming episodes. Just a strict COVID panel on stuff, because I mean honestly at
You
this
gotta wear a
point,
mask during that panel.
oh
Or?
buddy, absolutely. You know, and trust me, we're gonna go from 2 weeks to slow to spread, to stay 6 feet apart, to work from home for a month, to wear the mask, or wear the mask or don't go out, or wear the mask or get a fine, or wear the mask or you're dead. Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that in depth, and we'll have Julio back on. We're gonna try and get some people from both sides of the aisle, but definitely need to have you back on, Mike, for that. I just had to get a little Lee Mang in there because you know for the clickbait, got to do it, got to have it in there. But yeah, it's just crap. She's getting censored, and censorship is something that's been a serious problem, not only for the big people but also me lately. I've had my shadow ban. I've had a 24-hour shadow ban 6 times in the last 30 days, where I cannot comment on anything. I can only like, and then it unlikes it, and I can only receive messages and send messages. It's not a full ban. It's just a shadow ban. It's just a ha ha ha. We're watching you. Don't do that. I'm just trying to push it. We got 46 days, I think, till the election. I want to get 46 more bans. That's my plan. I want a perma ban on my main account by the end of the year, because the things we talk about are important. Things I feel like we all share are important, but nobody wants to talk about it because they're
Yeah, I
uncomfortable.
saw that Facebook is offering people money to disconnect their account for like so many weeks or whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah, so is Instagram.
and you gotta wonder like who they're targeting. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's a scary thought. Like freedom of
Yeah,
speech is like it's there for a reason, and yeah,
yeah. I mean, I miss the days when your hardest part of social media was figuring out what music you wanted to play when somebody visited your profile,
or picking your top 8 friends.
or top 12,
Ooh,
or top
top
4
8.
if you were really
I
a
only had 8
badass.
friends, so it was easy for me, but for you guys, it
It
probably
was
was
your
tough.
top 8 chicks. Shut up. I didn't want to hear it. You just had a rotation. It was
Yeah,
like the,
who's your top 8,
Mike's
Mike?
Mike's MySpace was like the original OnlyFans from 2005.
OnlyFans is the whole nother subject. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Why not? Let's go
All
there.
right, all right. You know, we're there.
100%.
We're there.
All I want to say about OnlyFans is like, go for it, make money.
Send
But
it.
2017, you were all hashtagging me too and don't objectify me, and now you're putting nudes out for $8 a month. Like, come on, which one is it? You know?
All right, Ron, clip that. Clip that. Come on. That we're gonna use that in every pod. I'm gonna have a come on button. Come on. Come on. That was perfect, Mike. God, you're a freaking legend. Just,
Well, again, it's just hypocritical.
just-
Like, I don't know. It's comical to me, but whatever.
Oh, I just saw a huge shadow on your TV. Thought it was like a Chris Lazzola walking across the garage earlier. Couldn't tell.
You and me, man.
It could have been. I mean, it was wide, thick back wide. It wakes up doing a lat pull down.
About
wide.
6'4", 225.
Yeah.
Solid muscle. Noticeable gains.
You say 325? Yeah, jacked.
Yeah, probably
6'5".
good.
Yeah, huge. All right, so we went there. Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Mike, I want to know, do you have any questions for Ron or I on anything going on? Is there anything you want to hear our side on, anything you've answered on, anything I've grilled you on? And this is your
Anything
time
about our
to...
childhoods?
Yeah, you can retaliate now if you'd like.
Yeah, right. Retaliate. I don't know, man. I mean, how's your guys' new gigs going? New jobs, new place,
It's great.
new state for Ron.
Excited. I'm glad to have Ron and the fam back in town, period. I mean, that alone. But now I know he's got a job that he doesn't have to, like, go away for, like, 3 days and then come home and die for, like, 12 hours. Only to,
no
like,
kidding.
eat shit, practice some bow and arrow, smoke a pork butt for the fam, and then leave. Like, like that was your Snapchat routine. There was an FD live for 3 days, you know? But
Yeah,
like,
man, I have my archery target all ready to go. Set it up in the backyard. We have a nice Y, like our backyard.
Oh, do you?
Our lot is very wide, so yeah,
that's awesome. Get you a little
good.
range
Mike,
action.
you'll have to come down and shoot a bow again.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Yeah, we'll make him quarantine for 12 months.
I got 2 targets right here.
Stuck. Yeah, no,
Nice,
I dig it. Yeah, no, the gig's going good. I'm enjoying it so far. Again, I mean, I'm working from home. It's all remote right now, and well, just a straight crotch shot. Just all right. There goes our monetization. Those, what a bunch of turkeys. They have a rough life. Somebody call the ASPCA. I can hear Sarah McLaughlin in the background right now. Just done. But yeah, I'm excited. What's that?
More
Yeah.
hot topics to talk about.
What do you want to talk about? That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, what do you? I mean, I'm boycotting that. So
Yeah.
really, I mean,
Did you watch them lose?
nope.
No.
Hey, so that's 3 of us. It's fucking tough, man.
I mean, I love football. I love to watch it, but dude, it's just the media has got everything spun the wrong way, and like
I just can't stand the fact. Well, I don't know if I want to go there right now, but it's a I mean, it's the Drew Brees situation. I don't understand the whole Jacob Blake thing, and obviously the Kenosha hat trick and things of that nature going on. You know, that's actually something we should really talk about, because I can segue into the Second Amendment debates with the election coming up. But bro, yeah, the NFL is just I don't get it, and the fact that the NHL got their shit together and minimize. I mean, if it wasn't for Dumba, I think it would have stayed out of the NHL 100%. I think we could have enjoyed our hockey season earlier and probably more efficiently, but it is what it is. And I haven't even watched since the Coyotes got out. I haven't watched one game, and I haven't watched any football.
Sports.
I've watched no football, and I don't want to. You know, I just don't. It's just
like, to me,
I
don't want
just go ahead, Mike.
like we're not. People shouldn't think like we're like racist or anything like that. I just feel like you shouldn't. Like, your workplace is not your position to express your personal opinion. Like, none of us could do that at work. You know what I mean? Because frankly, they don't care. Like, your boss doesn't care what your views are. Like, you're there to work, do your job, and you go home. Like, you know,
it's intimidation. It's the mob factor. You know, it's the retaliation that they fear. And you know, if you look back at the track record, just the last 5 years, on players wanting to do custom eye paint or custom cleats or their mom's name who just passed away from breast cancer after 10-year battle, whatever it was, they were threatening these players with $300,000 fines, and they shut up about it. They didn't care. And now they were just like, hey, we're doing this, and they said, no problem, have at it, whatever you say, just please don't shut down our league because we can't afford it. You know, and I've stopped using the term. I'm not being racist here. I'm not a racist. I've removed those words from my vocabulary, because I have come to decide, no matter what my opinion is, whether it aligns with them or not, I'm going to be what they decide. And there's nothing I can do about that. So it's brought me so much peace, because I just feel better talking to anybody about anything, more so than I even did. I mean, being in sales, I talk to anybody about anything. I'm a chameleon. If I'm going to make that deal, I will never bend on my values and opinions and views, but I will definitely shadow and maybe mock you sarcastically without you knowing, and we'll shake hands, and you'll leave in your brand new vehicle at $1,300 a month. But I'm never going to bend. I'm not going to bend to the mob. You know, Amanda and I were talking about this the other day, and she's about to embark on a dope-ass road trip for about a month, traveling across the entire eastern side and all around the U.S., seeing family and friends and just having a great time. And, you know, with the wildfires and stuff, she was just up in Idaho 3 weeks ago for a week and a half. camping in the middle of nowhere. And to think that there's people driving around just starting fires for shits and giggles because they're being paid to whatever. You know, it's crazy. So with the NFL supporting that, and it all stems together, it's all one big pot of shit. Okay, and there's only one person with the ladle, Nancy Pelosi, and she's got to go. And Schumer's got to go, and Feinstein's got to go. Omar's got to go. Tlaib's got to go. Harris has to go. Booker's got to go. Yang's got to go. Cruz's got to go. Rand Paul, probably time to go. Trey Gowdy, time to move up. Put that bitch in the White House one day. But honestly,
oh, they all need term limits. The only one you named that actually is like all for it is Rand.
Yeah, and I mean Rand's for it, but he's like, yeah, there's no point in pushing it. You know, term limits need to happen. Yeah. The Senate, the Congress, that's what everybody needs to do.
That would solve all of our problems, or so many of our problems.
So yeah, many of them.
Give them 8 years. Give them 8 years. Less than a decade. You can't get it done in 8 years. Done.
Right.
Try that for 2 cycles. If that don't work, give him 4 years. We give the president 4 years. He has no power. Right. No matter who is in office, he can't do shit. Clearly, as we've seen.
Yep.
I mean, what has Donald been able to do this last 3 years? I mean, honestly, what has he been really able to do without somebody giving pushback? There's not been one thing. Even the criminal, even the Criminal Reform Act, people push back on. Like, how would you push back on that? From any side of life, how do you push back on that? It's ridiculous.
Or the strongest the economy's been in freaking forever,
glorious.
Up until COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. No, I just brought up the football thing. I have my own curiosity. I haven't talked to either one of you guys about it offline, so
yeah, boycott
it. Because I mean, I know for sure Mike and I are both big Vikings fans. I know Jordan watches. Yeah, we're all big football fans, and man, like that's just like you guys and many Americans out there. Like our family fall tradition is, man, on Sundays that's what we do.
Absolutely.
You know, like that's we know if it's football season, man. I know exactly what I'm doing on Sundays, and I know exactly what I'm doing for about 2.5 hours on Saturdays watching LSU. So I'll still watch LSU this year, but regardless of my personal opinions or whatever have you, I don't want to. I haven't watched a single snap of the NFL, and I probably won't. I'm just not interested, man, in that narrative. Like it's kind of, and I don't have a right not to be offended. So I'm not one of those people that thinks, like, well, this offends me, it shouldn't exist or something like that. No, they have every right to do whatever they want to do. Their own thing. It's offensive to me to like insinuate that I'm in some level responsible for things when it's like, man, you don't know me. I've been out.
Yeah.
And I'm nobody special or anything. It's my job. But when we go respond to a call, we don't ask anyone's race or anything. Yeah. Like it's.
Was it a black male or a white male, sir? I don't know. He's like 35 years old and he's dying. That's all that should matter. But that's a good point. These headlines, dude, and these, and the players and whoever, they're posting this stuff. And I don't think that they think or they post. And then it spreads like wildfire. Then you got little old guys like us trying to make sense of it and help somebody figure out some information that doesn't make sense. And like if I didn't need social media for now work again and connecting with friends and doing this stuff and whatnot, I honestly have no desire to be on or watch the media, or even I haven't read the paper or any articles in months. It's probably been a year, honestly. It doesn't do it for me, man. And we don't deserve it as citizens. It's not something that we should have to put up with. But it's our own fault because we're not voting out the problem. That's what we got to worry about. So It's really up to us. Self-accountability. Got to get it done, dude. Got to get it done. But
absolutely.
The media is the problem, 100%. I don't know. The narratives they push it's not good.
Yeah, Garland's in the chat saying, just vote him out. Hey, I'm with you, bud. Trust me, and he's done with the NFL too. So, hey, man, appreciate you tuning in. You've been here for a while, my man. And Steven, all of you guys watching, it's been great having you here.
Thanks, everybody.
We got probably about 10 minutes left here. If anybody has any questions, pop them in there. We're just going to kind of do a rapid fire here. I'm just going to kind of boom a few questions to you. Don't do a crazy answer. Just a quick little one-liner. Like it could be yes or no. It could be I don't care. But it's just random stuff. I'm just curious. Well, and if you don't know about it, just like, I have no opinion. Like don't know. You can say I don't know or pass. In fact, let's do that. Just say pass. If you don't want to answer or you don't feel like you can answer if you're not ready to do. Mikey P. Joe
Yeah.
Jorgensen, yes or no?
Yeah.
Ron, yes or no?
Of the 3 candidates, yes.
No, that's not
I
the
don't-
question. Joe Jorgensen. Joe Jorgensen. Yay or nay?
She panders too much for my liking, man. I'm like a old school libertarian, so no.
That's true.
Now you just came from South Dakota, Ron. Who was your governor again? What was her
Christy
name?
Nome.
Christy.
Really
Now,
love that.
same question. Yay or nay?
Christy Nome?
Yeah.
Yay. Absolutely.
Yay. Mike?
Yep. I
Yeah.
would say yes. 100%.
Beautiful. H22 or B16? No VTEC.
No VTech?
Yep.
B16.
Oh,
B16.
wow. Okay, I'm just going to answer K series, you peasants. So moving on.
Yeah, that was
It's always an option. Better engines are always an option. This will make sense at the end. So, Mike, you have the Subaru still?
I do not. I sold it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, I sold the Subaru. I sold the Ducati.
Damn.
I'm trying to get this thing working, man.
We need to
Trying
collab. We need to collab on this business. Then we need to help you market this shit. Get you some investments. How close are you? You don't have to give a specific number, but like percentage wise, how close are you to saying, "Yep, I'm doing this tomorrow"?
Oh, like 95%. I'm
You're
there.
s-
I'm getting there.
You're there.
Hey,
Okay, we need to talk then.
I know a guy that works in the city of Tempe now for our longtime discussed business plan for Tempe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
perfect.
know all the city planners and
Yeah, now we're good. We can get
Yeah.
that done too.
Yeah, we don't have to spend any money on sprinkler systems. Yes, I get the inspector to sign off on that shit, baby. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Fire code.
Rob's like, no,
No fire
no,
code
of course
there.
not.
oh no, that place is gonna be
Yeah.
the most up-to-date building in the county.
We're gonna have a sterilization booth as you come. It's gonna be dope. No, anyways, no. The reason I did those questions, right? Like I asked you 2 people and then just a random, boom, boom, boom. It's a new poll. It's a new survey that's going on right now. It's an exiting thing. So when you see those polls on CNN, on Fox News, on MSNBC, on whatever, they're asking people questions that have nothing to do with anything, and then asking them one question they want a specific answer to. So they condition them to answer A or B, yes or no. And then they give them a question where they're not even looking for an answer that's given, right? So that they get the answer they want. They don't even ask the 3rd question to everybody if they don't hear what they want to hear. That makes sense? So this is an
Yeah.
exercise. It's, selective hearing. Oh, you're ignoring me. No, I'm just not fucking listening to you right now. Very
Yeah.
good skill I developed in sales. And I'm telling you, you want to know why the public opinion and the public interest is so just screwed up right now? Nobody knows what's real and what's not. The fact checkers, doesn't matter. You're going to believe what you want to believe, and you're going to research what you want to research, and you're going to know what you know. But this is how polls, this is how the media, and this Fox is guilty of this too. Oh yeah, Ron, you need to register to vote, bro. Oh good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm rich.
I think
We would
they
be on
fact
top of
checked your
that.
Facebook post on the 507.
They did. Yeah, they did. They fact checked a few different things.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I disputed it, and they said they were wrong and that you do indeed steal everyone's woman.
No, the
yourself.
fact checker said that was false,
That was partially false
misleading.
because I said he will steal your, but in fact it was still all. It was not a broad enough paintbrush.
Yeah,
to
it was misleading.
Yeah, it sure was. It sure was. Yeah, but I don't really have a whole lot more questions. I definitely need to have you and Julio on with Ron and myself, and we really need to get Sean, need to get Elliot on here, and we need to get Hilda. We need to get the whole crew on here because
That'd be fun.
It would
and that'd
just
just be
be
fun
fun.
for us.
yeah, and it wouldn't even start. I wouldn't even have a topic lined up. It would just be both just, hey, this is the homies talking from high school, right? And then it would just naturally progress into some shit, and it would be great. And then if we want to, we could stream it to Facebook and maybe tag some people and be like, hey,
Oh God.
haha, yeah, debate me. Who knows? We could have some really fun stuff. I'm learning more and more streaming techniques. So if there's something you guys want to see, or if there's something you want to talk about, we can hop on and do this anytime. It doesn't have to be a
Yeah.
big production, Mike. So if you see something, you're like, hey, I just want to I want to vent. Let's do it. It's easy. People are saying to do it. They want to hear more from you, dude. Like the chat is blowing up with people wanting to hear. So people have
How do you guys feel
enjoyed.
about mail-in voting?
Oh, God. I don't. I don't think it's something that we should ever let. Should never. No, that's not something. Dude, I don't even put my social security number on my taxes. I'm not voting by mail. Absolutely. No, absolutely not. I'm going to go stand in line. Yo, Elliot in the chat. Shiv.
Isn't he working?
Yeah, he probably. Carlton's going to collapse if he doesn't clock in every day. I'll tell you that much.
Or is he working out?
I don't know. He's working out. He's probably sitting at Anytime Fitness with my dad right now. Who knows? Yo, bro, it's dad. No shit. Oh, boy. Oh.
Yeah, I was always the scapegoat, man.
Yeah.
Not to jump off. Everyone always blamed Ron. Ron did it. Sorry. So everybody's parents just think I'm a total piece of shit. Probably just wait. What? That guy did something with his life?
Oh, if anything, my dad probably thinks Elliot's just a rebel. Had Elliot stayed out past 2 last night and didn't mow the lawn before noon.
Mail-in voting, I think it's a tool that should be available under certain circumstances. If you're referencing universal mail-in voting, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, absentee. Yeah,
Absentee, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, Amanda's gonna have to do that. I think. I'm not sure on her trip. It might be something she has to do, but you know,
that's an individual. It's requesting one. They can track. It's a lot easier to track than universal. I don't see. So that's similar to like COVID to me. As somebody who's not like a Republican or Democrat, it's weird to me that these certain things become so politicized. Because I'm like, wait, isn't that something like we could all agree on? Because like, what if the Republicans use it to vote? Because I hear like the left seems to really want mail-in voting, and I'm like, well, but there is a lot more room for fraud there. So what if it's Republicans getting 6 ballots to their single family home, with 2 registered voters in, and they just sign them all for Trump? Like,
well, that's an irrelevant thing to say because they're going to get shredded.
That just sounds like a bad idea. Like,
yeah, the Republican or the conservative family is going to get 6 ballots and shred them and turn them on, burn them in fire, and then report it. The other family's just going to fill them out.
It's kind of funny because at my house I have 4 people that live here, right? Only one of them have gotten like a mail-in voting, like a push for mail-in voting. And I mean, guess who it is? You got three males here and 1 white female. Guess who's getting the mail-in voting sent to them?
I can only imagine.
And it's just it's almost like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not see what's going on here? And it's my house, and I've got nothing for mail-in voting, like nothing.
Yeah,
and I've never even checked a box anywhere on like what I vote for, and I voted both ways in 2 elections. So it's like how they're just picking a group, a target, and then just targeting them to say, hey, mail-in vote, because they assume they're gonna vote for, who they want.
Yeah, no, and that's a dangerous thing, assuming, especially in politics.
She's gotten 2 so far, and it's like. No one else has gotten 1, It's just funny. But I don't know. It's something to think about,
Absolutely. Sure. Everybody should be thinking about it. It's not, can't not think about it, but I just don't trust it. It's not so much everybody says, you still trust the government. I mean, I don't trust the government anyways, but it's not the mail-in voting I worry about the government with. It's little Timmy and little Karen sitting there taking the votes and counting them. That's the person I'm worried about. Because you've seen the videos of people shredding ballots, throwing them out, looking at them, ripping them open, scanning IDs, taking pictures, and holding them, and I'm not going to put up with it.
Well, I mean, the post office says, like, don't send cash through the mail, but you're going to trust your ballot. Like, what are you thinking? Like,
absolutely not.
There's videos of postal workers, like, taking their truck, going to a dumpster, and just dumping the mail. Like, there's tons of videos of that, And it's like, why would you risk your vote in the mail? I don't know. And then people claim that like Trump wants to defund the post office now to avoid it. And it's like, dude, I don't know.
The post office is already funded, by the way, too.
Yeah. He gave him $12 billion.
There's a lot of things like that, like our departments and stuff. Their funding is decided a fiscal year in advance, so they have enough
on a whim. Yeah. And it's got me thinking about some pandemic stuff I want to vent about quick.
Let's hear it.
So people are like complaining now about like how like certain CEOs got rich off of the pandemic, right?
Of course they did.
People are mad about like Jeff Bezos and Amazon stock, like, you know, doubling, and like Walmart, Target, all those big corporations. They got a lot of money over the pandemic. You know, they're reporting third quarter earnings and they're skyrocketing, right? And everyone's all pissed off. I shouldn't say everyone. A certain group is all pissed off, saying it's not right and how can they make money off this pandemic? And it's like, okay, think back to March when the government took away all their competition. Like, what do you think was going to happen? You know?
Yeah.
You tell every small business you can't operate. You tell every like medium business, hey, you can't operate. You unemploy half the country, and then give them extra money. Like, where's that money going to go? It's going to go
only businesses that are open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people, like, this is why people protested in Michigan in March, because like they knew what was going to happen in 6 months. Like, and then that same group that's like, oh my God, they were protesting and spreading the virus. And now that people are like, oh yeah, now you got Jeff Bezos made a bunch of money, he's an asshole. Like, no, the government took away all his competition. Like, what?
Bezos didn't even know the pandemic was happening for 2 months until it was 2 months in. Then somebody's like, hey, yo, you're worth about 40% more. Oh, okay, great. I'm the richest dude again? Awesome. What time's my tea time? That's how that conversation went.
Could you imagine, though, being like a small business owner and all your customers are getting more money and more free time and you can't serve them? Like,
Correct.
You're told no?
Yeah.
Like, I would be, dude, heads would be rolling if I was a business owner and I was told I couldn't make money. Like, I'm surprised that they weren't like freaking out more than they did. Like, that's just it's so wrong.
It's because the small business owner doesn't know who to ask for help.
There's
nobody.
And that's not even a place to kind of build on that sentiment for you, Mike. I guess I don't want to put words in your mouth, but from where I sit, it's not, some people might hear somebody say that and be like, well, that's greedy of you and stuff. But the reality of it is, like, I've heard people comment on, like, well, we need to shut down. We need to save lives, like the economy. And they basically are belittling, saying like basically economic impact doesn't matter if you save lives. Well, the economy is people's lives. I mean, if I have kids, man, if I had a business that was supporting my family and I'm not allowed to operate and I can't, most small businesses don't operate like Jeff Bezos, where like, man, he could, even if he had to, he could shut down. He'd be fine.
Yeah.
He'd still make money.
Most small businesses don't operate where they can operate and pay employees, do all that stuff for a month with zero income. You know what I mean? That's just not reality. A lot of business owners, especially people trying to grow their business, I know you guys know this stuff, but I'm just like, people that have never done anything in business probably have no idea that, like, hey, most of that money goes back into the company.
Yeah, immediately back in.
Absolutely. The first 5 to 6 years of ownership, I mean, not to bring up, negative things, but it's hard to turn a buck.
It's hard.
I've talked to my dad about this extensively. And, I mean, you guys know what he's been doing, and it's tough. And to think about, like, I mean, Amanda being a freelance writer, right, who's made her living literally for 6-7 years traveling with the dog around the country and writing about it and having a blast. And when the shit got shut down, it was like, holy shit, what am I going to do now? I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to be outside and do these things. And, luckily, the world that she works in, it's a very small percentage. They were able to band together and work together. But in this small, I mean, out here in Phoenix, dude, I watched a brand new movie theater open and close in the same week. New gas station open and close. Restaurants open, close, and empty out and take their signs down. But I watch a Fry's open, and I watch these other things open, and I try to explain to people it's not somebody waving a magic wand and saying, no, no, no. It's just, you can't. It's mathematically impossible at this point. And they couldn't survive. I'd rather see a small business shut down and reopen than struggle and disappear forever. But yeah, it's tough, man. It sucks to watch. I have a lot of friends that own businesses, small and big, and I've worked for businesses small and big, and it sucks. And it's not fair, and I just it's not something that I could go ham here, but as you know, Ron, but like, you made a very good point, Ron. You backed it up, and it's just shitty.
Yeah,
it's really just shitty.
It's frustrating,
It is.
And to Ron's point, people are like, "Oh, that's mean. You're taking money over life." It's like, no, I'm not saying that. But like, I mean, there's 2 guarantees in life: taxes and death. So it's like, that sounds morbid, but it's not that. It's not I mean, like, you can't tell someone they can work and then they can't. Like, that's just not how anyone
Correct.
should be operating government.
And if you're going to let 200,000 people walk down the street together, doing
Right.
whatever you want to call it, rioting, protesting, I don't care, whatever, analogy or noun you want to give it.
there was just so much contradiction that
Correct.
just frustrates people, and I get it. And like restaurants, I mean, it's impossible to sell if you're not running. If you're told you can only operate at 25%, like imagine cutting your paycheck on 25% and being told to survive. You're not going to make it.
No, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, and their families, they have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They have colleges to pay for, and they have a lot of that stuff. So, is it going to get better? Absolutely. Is it going to be soon? I sure as hell hope so. But this whole going, Steven wants you guys to high five.
Huh.
No, like side to side. You're just gonna extend your hand. Ron, you're gonna take your left hand. Mike, take your right hand and go to the other side. Ron. No, Mike, you were correct. Ron, you need to go towards Mike.
Am I good?
No, other way, Mike. There you go, Steven. Make sure you hit that follow button, and share this stream with your friends. We'll do anything you ask us to do, to a certain extent, within the monetization guidelines. But, Mike, what do you think would happen January 22nd this year if the left were to pull off a W somehow in November? What do you think we're in for? Just a quick snippet.
My prediction is, I don't either one. Like, I think if Biden wins, not much will really change as far as like our day-to-day life right now. But I think it's just prolonging the change that needs to happen. I think if Trump wins, which you guys know how I lean, but whether that's good or bad for people, I think Trump winning will lead to there'll be some turmoil and some there'll be, I don't want to say like civil war, but there'll be something that happens. I feel like
I think there'll be a civil dispute of some kind on a large scale. I won't throw the W word out there with you, but there's going to be some type of scaled event. And I have a lot of super right wing like friends out here. I'm talking way more right than I'll ever be, and I'm not talking like weird, but just crazy hardcore stuff.
Not alt right.
Yeah. And
I don't think any of us associate with any alt right people.
Yeah.
And what Mike just said, we need to clip that, because if more people thought like that instead of the fearmonger way of, oh my God, if Biden wins, everything's screwed. Not necessarily off the bat. It's just like you said, it's going to prolong more underlying conditions and problems that we're not going to be able to solve sooner than later, that we should have solved 3 years ago because we had the opportunity. And what you said is, the best or the more suitable option for the majority of people, like you said, the way we lean, that wins. Yeah, there's going to be problems. It's not going to be caused by those that have got out and voted and made things happen the way they want. It's going to be the complainers and the whiners, the kids that were never told to shut up as a kid,
never learn respect.
So,
I mean, it just, and I'm fine with either way. Like, I whatever happens, but I just think that, personally, I don't really want my taxes to be raised. I don't really want like these groups to be praised as like heroes when they're just villains, like BLM to me, like I support like Black Lives Mattering, but the BLM movement is a Marxist organization that's a terrorist. It's a terrorist group in the U.S. Like,
they're funded by Act Blue of the Democratic Party of the United States.
Yeah. Like, I support, Black lives, whatever color you are, you shouldn't die, you know what I mean, at the hands of a cop, unless you attack the cop, but the whole Black Lives narrative is founded off of, it's not even statistically true. Like,
not
no matter
even close.
how you do that, it's not, their narrative is not true, like nowhere close to true. And it's all based off of false things. And then they just go cause violence and think they're doing good. And it's like, no, you're not doing good,
Yeah, no, 100%.
You're driving people away from your cause.
Exactly.
Correct.
The whole country was behind you.
Oh, it was incredible, man. I thought that first 2 weeks or that first week, it was great. I was like, holy shit, it's organized.
Yeah.
This is going to be
We
great.
can come together. Yeah.
I thought we did. I thought it was done. But then no, there has to be issues and
I'm all for the system to be reformed. You know, there's definitely flaws, like people that sell
100%.
weed are in jail longer than someone who assaults, you know, a little kid. You know, it's bullshit.
Yeah,
But
100%.
people, the biggest like argument I see is people say that cops shouldn't be judge, jury, and executioner, and you're 100% right. They shouldn't.
Absolutely.
So
I
stop
concur.
treating them like that. Like, if a cop approaches you and wants to arrest you, just comply and take the fight to the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Go
the
through the
judge's job
process.
to do that.
If you're getting arrested, and I have a very, very good attorney buddy of mine, Zach, with Ramos Law, #ad here in Scottsdale. He will be on the podcast in the next couple weeks, and he's going to dive into some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I really want to pick his brain and get that information out there, because a lot of people think you're not going to get arrested. Even for some crazy shit, you probably right now, you're not going to get arrested if you just shut up and say, no problem, sir.
Yeah, just shut up. Like, don't argue the cop. The cop doesn't have the discretion to decide if you broke the law or not. Like, if he sees you breaking the law, and his job is to take you in and let the judge decide. You know what I mean?
100%.
Or you take it, you go to court and fight it. Like, his job is not like, I don't know, man. Like, you made a good point, or you overpowered me, so yeah, you're off the hook now. Like, no, like he's not. That's not his job as a cop, or her job as a cop. Like, their job, they have no discretion. It's just straight up black and white. Like, they broke the law, here's your ticket, or you go to jail. The judge will decide what to do with you after that. Like,
Correct.
so people need to stop acting like the cop is the jury and the judge. Like, stop talking to them about your case. Just say, all right, officer, I'm sorry. Or like, hey, you're wrong, but I'll fight in court. You know, and then do that. Like, the judge will have way more power over that cop if he's in the wrong than his chief, who can just brush it off and say, whatever, man, I like you, so don't worry.
100%.
You know,
100%.
take the fight to the courtroom, and things will change way faster than shooting random cops in the street. Like, that's gonna do no
Absolutely.
good. You know?
Yeah, words over bullets every day of the week is going to get a lot more things done on a large scale and a small scale.
And they're not gonna win that fight if something actually happens. You know what I mean? So it's like, why, you know?
I've been pulled over, dude. I have been pulled over some of the dumbest shit when I'm in a hurry, or I lost a job once. I literally was fired a week later because I missed a morning meeting at a certain employer because I got a ticket for 7 miles an hour over in a 25 in a non-school zone on a Saturday.
Just a lead foot.
Yeah.
Man.
So, or 5 a.m. But anyways, and all I did was say, hey, and I was going like 10 over. He's like 7. I'm like, okay, sure, here's my shit. And I sat there for 20 minutes and I took my beating and I went home. I'm not saying, obviously, you can't compare that to certain things, but I'm just saying it is what it is, dude. Like, you make a mistake, suck it up and eat it. It sucks, you know? It sucks. But got to do it. So, you know, I've got a lot of officer friends, and actually Zach, my attorney buddy, his brother is a fantastic officer in Glendale here in Arizona, and we want to have him on. He's been actually the headline here a few times recently. So it's you know, they got a job to do. I got a job to do. Ron's got a job to do. You know, I could never imagine somebody, you know, going up to Ron as he's inspecting fire damage. Listen here, you motherfucker. Better tell him it was the water heater, or so help me God, I will kill you. Like, shut up. Like, just like, somebody's gonna go up in Ron's face with a cell phone. Do something. No, stop. Just stop, okay? Nobody's gonna come up to me and be like, yo, you better give me 0% mortgage. No, it's not gonna happen like that. People will find ways to get into situations that they shouldn't be in, and things are going to happen. And you know what? Let's bring me to my next point. You know what's going to happen to those people? They're going to fuck around and find out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
FAAFO. FAFO. And in fact, hey, dude, there's a shirt for it. Let's do a 507 Project FAFO shirt.
Yeah,
I'd wear the shit out of that.
I would too.
But yeah, you want to fuck around and find out, you're going to do it. You're going to find out. Eric Welch in the chat. What's up, buddy? I know you're paying. I got pulled over for a headlight out at St. Olaf. About 5 minutes later on 246 by the high school. Hey, man, we've been there. Everybody's been on 246 getting screwed. I mean, it's... you can't drive there without getting just harassed. Shout out to Thad Monroe, #1 SWAT utility manager in the world. Love you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, dude, he runs a SWAT, Rice County, baby. But anywho, I don't have any other topics. Ron, what topics do you have left?
I'm good, man. That's been hour. What? Over an hour.
Yeah,
I'm
we're 2
good,
hours.
man.
Mike, you got anything else you
I
want
want
to
to
vent
definitely
on?
have him on again.
Mike, I think you need to be a contributor. I want to have you
Yeah.
on, kind of like a Ben Carson. I want you to be the Ben Carson of the 507 project. That's what I think you should do.
Now you got me going on something else. Damn it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it,
Go
buddy.
for it.
It's kind of irrelevant, but
Nothing's
well,
irrelevant on the 507 project.
how do I word this? So back to like the whole everyone claims like don't judge people on their past and all that stuff, like I get it happens, like someone gets shot by cops and they yell like oh, he was a criminal anyways, or oh, he was a bad person, and everyone's like, oh, don't judge him based off his past, right? But that same group judges Trump off of things he did before he was a politician all the time, like that famous scene in the bus with his friend,
Yeah.
They bring it up all the time. And so it's funny to me because they demonize Trump for being like a womanizer or like objectifying women. And then what's his name? Ben Shapiro. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Super good guy, like super quick-witted, whatever. And
Very intelligent.
that same group that criticizes Trump for his past discredits Ben Shapiro because he didn't know what WAP stood for, and now there's like a running joke that he's like a virgin still, and it's like, dude, so one side of the aisle he has no credit because he's a womanizer. Other side of the aisle, you hate him because he's too good of a person. You know what I mean? Like, how can that group play both sides? Like, how do you win with them? You know what I mean?
You can't.
Yeah,
It's a
and
mental disorder.
anyone that knows anything, actually knows anything about Ben Shapiro, has read any of his books or listened to his show or anything, knows that he's married, he has kids.
He's married, he has kids, exactly.
But he's very open. He was by choice. He's very open. He was a virgin until he met his wife, and like that,
and
that's your choice, man.
And like discredit him, and I'm like, how does that have to do with the credibility? Like, who cares?
If anything, it gives me more credibility.
So the guy has a lot of discipline. That's what that means. He has a lot of self-discipline. That's awesome. Good for him.
It's just funny because like the same group that gets mad at Trump for like saying that shit also gets mad at Ben or like discredits Ben Shapiro, and it's like how does someone win in your eyes? Like, what do they got to do?
I have an answer. You want the answer? I'll give you the answer right now if you want it.
Yeah.
You fucking Control-Alt-Delete and restore your own brain, and then you insert one of theirs, and you upload the memory profile, and you act like them. Orange man bad. That's how you roll.
I just want to know how you can win, because like,
brother.
Even to that argument I got in with our fellow peer from high school, like I couldn't win. Like no matter what I said, I couldn't win. Like I was a white male who didn't support Biden, so therefore I was a Nazi. Like no matter what I said or did, I was a Nazi. And I'm like, dude, how you are so.
That tells me you don't have much like not just for anyone who feels that black and white about an issue like that. I mean, that tells me you probably don't have a whole lot of world experience. You've probably not seen
real world
a whole lot of. It doesn't matter whether that's coming from the left or the right. Anyone who's that like totally unwilling to even listen to someone has to say. I mean, you must live in such a bubble that.
It's scared. They're scared, and they're still scared of the world. It's a big scary place. That's how they were raised. That everything's out to get you, and poor pitiful you. You're gonna struggle, and there's nothing you can do about it except if you vote for the Democrat. They'll take care of you. And you think I'm joking? I'm telling you. I think that you remember Mr. Wold, Northfield High School, Mr. freaking Wold. I've only been kicked out of a class 4 times in my entire life. All 4 were in his class. For thinking out loud. Jamie Sheridan and we made a presentation on how we don't like hybrids. It was strictly an opinion PowerPoint promoting the use of diesel fuel over a hybrid technology. We had and I'm still fucking bitter about this. Okay, he gave me a D-. I failed that fucking class and had to retake it. You want to know why? Because I made a valid argument with Jamie Sheridan. Okay, how the cost of a battery for a hybrid car at the time, a Prius, which he drove, that you could build and power, I think it was like 6,000 or 3/4 ton diesel trucks at the time over their lifetime, millions of miles compared to one Prius's life in disposing of that battery and manufacturing. And that right there, that's Derek Welch. He mentioned it's a mental disorder on the left. They will not listen to reason. They will not hear your argument. They do not care. It's their way or the highway. It doesn't. And there's people on the right too. I need to clarify. There are people on the right and the left on both sides and in the middle. But if you Mike, you said, how do you reason? You just have to be open to listening. I can't tell you how many liberals and moderates and progressives and socialists and Marxists and Antifa and people I've tried to engage with, and I just get shit on. And then I go and talk to some of my medium right-wing conservative friends, and we just bullshit and have fun, and we end up laughing about it. And it kind of sucks that people don't want to just talk to someone. Like, people don't talk to their neighbors anymore. Being a good person doesn't matter to people anymore. It's only who you vote for and support. You're absolutely right, Derek. Well said. And that's the thing. It's like, people used to not. Remember back in the day when you'd ask your parents, who'd you vote for, Dad? None of your business.
Yeah.
Mom, who'd you vote for? Shut up. Okay. Like, that's how it was. And now it's like, okay, over here, like, all right, I get it, but I'd much rather hear everyone's opinion and be able to change or maybe tweak or keep mine the same than never hearing what little Timmy and Karen have to say. I'd rather hear what they have to say. And
yeah, I agree. And I think part of that problem is we've given government so much power that to some people a lot is on the line. You know what I mean? And that's not right.
It's not their fault. Yeah. You get put in that position, you're raised in that, like you said, you experienced it firsthand, bro. And you found a way to figure out life. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, I just don't know how anyone would want to rely on somebody else for like something that they deem so essential. You know what I mean? Like, like once you fear not having a place to sleep at night, like you'll make sure you take ownership and have that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
it's a fight or flight syndrome.
Yeah.
You will or you won't, but you have a choice. That's
absolutely. You're going to do A or B. There is no C, D, E, F, or G. You're doing it or you're.
Yep.
And I'm going to take this time. I've been running a little experiment the last, what day is it? So we're on day 37 today. And I created 2 other profiles on a certain social media platform to engage with people.
Were you that hot chick that added me?
No, they're both males. They're both males. They're both male profiles.
No, that was real, Mike. That's real.
I'm not going to disclose the details yet, but as you can assume, they are not me. There's not a 30-year-old white male in Phoenix, Arizona. They're 2 very different profiles from 2 very different walks of life, but it is all me behind the scenes. And I made a big YouTube video about this about 2 months ago that I'm going to do it. I timestamped it. I dated it. I have all the proof to prove this to people because the responses I'm getting from the same people to all 3 of these profiles, it's going to make some people cry. I mean, it's really sad, dude. No, it's sad. It's really sad, man. And it's gonna change.
A really good point.
What you got, brother? Let's hear it.
No, like my roommate, Chris. He has had the same conversation with this individual that I talked to, and he has said the same things I've said, and they're completely civil. And at the end, this person goes, "Okay, that was informative. Thanks for your input," because he's not a white guy. You know what I mean?
Really? I don't know. Do I know this person?
Literally so until you said that, I was like, why? I was like, is she into Chris or something? But I know what you're.
I mean, he's way better looking too, but still, that might be why. I don't know, but.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. But like,
it's because he's not.
I don't view people as that.
Yeah, like it just drives me nuts when people constantly have to judge based off of like face value, like right away. It's like, no, it doesn't define you,
Yeah, your ethnicity really doesn't. Which apparently is like a controversial thing to say nowadays. But like, it doesn't matter to me. I have, I have a sibling who is, I guess, technically, if you wanted to put everybody in a box, who is a different racial background than me. You know what I mean? But like that doesn't make her not my sister.
Right. You know what's funny is I've never thought of that, dude. Not one.
I don't
time.
I've never really thought of that either.
I never did my entire life until somebody else pointed it out to me, and now as a kid.
Holy
and it's like,
shit! You just fucked up my whole world. Is that truth? I just thought she was really tan, bro.
No, Amanda. She's from South America, man. Or biologically, she was born there.
I swear to God, I thought she was just tan as fuck.
Yeah.
And cool. I mean, honestly, all your sisters are dope. So, I mean. Wow.
So
No,
that's what I
Holy
mean. Like,
shit,
so
bro.
so if somebody puts, yeah, if somebody
What?
puts, so I mean, it's not me, but like I feel like I have somewhat a dog in that fight, and that's again, I don't have a right not to be offended. People can think whatever the hell they want, and that's their right. But that's offensive to me in the sense of like, really, like, so you want me to look at, like, if we're putting everybody into that box, like, what am I supposed to, like, treat my sister differently than my other sisters because she's
like, yeah, come on.
yeah, like,
The logic doesn't
yeah,
exist.
she's not a victim, man. She's worked
Right.
her ass off. She's
Yeah.
super smart. She's getting her PhD right now. Like,
Jesus
she's
Christ. I mean, I'm not shocked.
and that wasn't
Not
handed
shocked
to
at
her.
all.
I mean, she's worked her ass off.
All your sisters
and
have,
that's
dude.
and that's bullshit for anybody to take that away, you know.
Well, fuck, Mike, your sister's been busting her ass too.
Yeah, she works all the time, like all the time. Yeah.
Well, to get where she is, I mean, obviously knowing you and obviously seeing her grow up with you, I mean, if I'm telling you, you're getting some credit here. You're getting a little horn toot, and you're going to take it and deal with it. You're a hell of a brother, buddy. You really
Yeah,
are.
man.
And
She had a good influence.
I'm going to tell you right now, I was not the best brother for many, many years. Still probably not the best to all my siblings. But it is what it is. But you, sir, I'm telling you right now, if anybody ever writes a book about you, there's going to be a whole chapter about that. Because you really took on a role you shouldn't have had to take on, and you really did a great job. And clearly, between you, your mom, all the people that helped raise, I mean, it's evident. Well, everything can always be better, and it can always be fucking worse, and it can always be horrible. But
Exactly.
you didn't let that
That's
happen to
true.
not only you, but also, her and your younger siblings as well. So it's, people really got to understand, you're going to throw that P word at somebody, privilege word, you better know damn fucking sure what you're getting at before you start throwing words.
That's what grinds my gears the most. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover, and yeah, you just can't, no matter what color they are.
And that's what we grew up being taught.
Yeah.
Like, that used to be like
stop?
the normal.
Yeah, it used to be total. Like, we didn't care. Like, I mean, it's just so dumb you got justified. But like Elliot, Chris, like Jordan, like how many of our friends aren't
That's
like
true.
us?
That's true.
All of them. You know what I mean?
It
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did we sit with Big Smoke, right? Right?
Exactly.
No, think
I
about
fucking
it.
love that guy.
Think about it. If I described Big Smoke, if I told Big Smoke stories to somebody that wasn't you guys, they would have no idea. They couldn't paint a picture of him because I wouldn't be able to tell the story that way. It's just Big Smoke. It's just Jordan. It's just Big Smoke. It's not, and it's just Mike. It's not White Mike.
We never. My point, it was like the way we were raised, at least like all in our group.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not racist assholes out there. There are.
Oh,
I've come
fuck yeah,
across
they're
it for
everywhere.
sure. But like, we were raised even in school and stuff like that, plus in our home lives, to like where that shit didn't matter, to the point where, for me personally, like I remember specifically like going to visit Amanda in Louisiana, my oldest sister, when she first moved there one summer, and that was my first exposure of racism. Like I literally, it was like something we learned about in school a little bit, but it was.
Can you expand on that?
Was,
I never heard that. I never knew this.
Oh, it was not so like for us growing up, like it wasn't a thing, I mean, it really wasn't. It's
Right.
And that's not just, I guess, I can only speak from my experience, but I never saw any of it, and I never looked at any of my peers or my friends or anything based on their ethnic background. Like, it didn't matter. Like, hey man, if we like the same shit, let's hang out.
Yo, if you put a gun to my head
I
right
feel like
now,
that was mutual.
100%.
So with going down to Louisiana, Louisiana, there's still like voluntary segregation, and like there's racism, and people are fairly open about it in a way that was at least enough for me to notice coming from Minnesota. And that was surprising to me. This was back in 2009.
Dude, I've never heard this story, man. I didn't even know this.
Oh, so I went down, and just the way people talk, and I don't know. I guess it was interesting to me because I was growing up in Minnesota. It was something we learned about in school. It wasn't anything I'd ever seen or experienced or anything. And so again, so definitely it's still out there, but at least I guess I was just building off in our upbringing, and like even in like my family and stuff like that. I think personally, and like I would like to raise my kids the same way we were raised, to be like, hey man, that shit doesn't matter. Like, if somebody's a good person, they're a good person. If they're an asshole, they're an asshole. None of that, like what skin color they are, what their economic status is, or none of that matters.
It's kind of sad you have to add that to your curriculum as a parent now.
Well,
you have to add the specific tabs to the subgenres instead of "don't be a fucking dick" or "I'll beat your ass." That used to work. But now you have to be, don't do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. You being a parent, brother, it's a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, even with like my oldest, he'll be 4 in December, so he's still pretty young. But like, I'm very firm already on that. We will not have bullies in this house. Like, if he bullies his little brother, if he tries to bully the dogs, I'm not going to raise bullies, man. We're going to be protectors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Be the wolf. Don't be the sheep.
Yeah. Be the sheepdog.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I didn't know that Louisiana thing. I never know you experienced that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was an eye-opening experience. I still remember to this day because that was the first time in my life, and I realized racism was still a thing in this country. I was like, fuck, I didn't know people were still assholes.
Dude, it's crazy. And like, I can tell you right now, God, I forgot what I was going to say earlier, but like, if you, here it is. So if you were going to put a gun to my head, you're dead. If you get one question wrong, you might as well just pull the trigger on this. Like, if you put everybody that we knew, like actually, hung out with, knew in high school, and asked me to tell you what their religion was or their political belief, other than my core group of friends, I couldn't tell you one person. I don't care that I don't know. But nowadays, dude, I see so many people talking about religion, race, politics. I'm like, who? You're going to potentially not make an acquaintance or make a networking connection or a friend or be able to help somebody out sometime because of those ridiculous things? Is that really it? It's obscene to me. I mean, it's really crazy. Shit. It's really
we're going backwards.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I'm experiencing.
You know what I mean?
Warp speed, dude. It was a full fourth to first shift, and it is a screeching halt. They power slid 30 over the crest, and here we go.
Yeah, we're as a society, we're trying so hard to like all be victims because of things we can't control, and it's just causing segregation. It's just so dumb. You know?
And not physical segregation, but it's causing, like you said, the divide. It's really creating a line in the sand. And I'm like, I know what side I'm on. I'm not going to cross it because I will never go to that side. But if you want to come over here and start kicking sand at me, I'm going to throw it back at probably 3,000 FPS. So be ready. That's a whole special episode we're going to have. But I don't. Yeah, Derek Welch just said, it's all about parents and family where most racism starts. Buddy, racism is taught. I don't think it's something you can really learn. Obviously everybody's gonna have their own personal experiences with this and that and so and these, whatever. But if you let that one thing from that one person, that one moment in time, dictate how you think about an entire group of people, well, fucking hey, you just shut it down and be done. You're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it. I mean, seriously, just uninstall. You're not gonna respawn. You're done.
It just comes down to that nuclear family, like having a mom and a dad at home, and that makes all the difference. I mean, I didn't grow up like that, but having at least the stability of it, like
you made an effort to make sure you had it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did your best to make sure you got as much as you could information-wise.
Yeah,
you're definitely a gatherer, dude.
Sides of life.
Absolutely.
And without one of those sides, I would be a different person, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it just comes down to having that nuclear family, and it's just not a thing anymore. Like, so many people just don't think it's important, and then these kids just run and do whatever they want, and then get their information from social media and the mainstream media, and it just makes them into these.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The single biggest indicator statistically, like if you're talking mathematics and stats, things you can quantify, the single biggest indicator of incarceration, from childhood into adulthood, is not It's not race. It's not even economic status or income or anything like that. It is exactly what Mike said. It's a nuclear family. So single parent families, specifically higher actually in households where there's no father in the household. That is the largest statistical indicator of incarceration. Doesn't matter what color, if it's a white family, black family, Asians, whatever. It doesn't matter your ethnic background, doesn't matter your economic status even. You can be rich, you can be poor. That is the largest single indicator of incarceration.
Yeah, 100%. And you can't deny it because that's a fact.
It's huge. I mean, and as a father myself, like, I mean, I've been doing it for almost 4 years now, but and parenting, don't let anybody fool you. Parenting's a learn as you go thing,
Right.
But it's interesting to see because there's definitely, and even back to my childhood, I remember like there's differences between mom and dad, you know, and
Oh yeah.
kind of the roles and that's not I think that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And the whole gender role thing of like, well, those are complete social constructs and all this stuff. And I don't necessarily buy into that. I see little kids, you know, and like my sons have, in South Dakota, our neighbor had a 3-year-old daughter, and Ellis and her would play all the time, and they'd play with the same exact toys very differently, you know, and I've never taught Ellis how to play with toys, you know, how to play with his toys or anything. It's just, I guess, I don't know. It's interesting to see. And I think both roles are important. Oh, the gender thing. Yeah. So women can do a lot of things men can't do, like procreate our species, you know, that's pretty freaking important. That's like literally none of us would be here without and I don't see why that's such a, like, why not?
I don't get the attack on gender roles. Like, what is so wrong with being good at something? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah. And dude, there's badass women firemen too, like firefighters. I shouldn't say firemen even, really, because I mean that's disrespectful. Like firefighters, there's females. Like I know female firefighters that for sure. Like I'd take them into a you know, really really bad scene any day.
Right.
And it shouldn't. Again, same as the color thing. It shouldn't matter, man. If you can do the job, you can do the job. If you can't, you can't. That's fine. It's nothing against you. It's just, you know, and that's one thing I've always liked about the fire service, even from coming from the Army, where the Army has different PT standards. They're getting away from this now, actually, finally, but they have different PT standards for males and females and age groups and all this. The fire academies and stuff are, hey man, X, Y, and Z, you know, here's the benchmarks. Doesn't matter if you're a 19-year-old female or a 40-year-old male. Like, this is the standard.
You want to do this? Meet the requirements. Yeah. And that type of mentality needs to come back. If you can't do it, you can't do it. That sucks. Sucks to suck, nerd. Get better. Come back later. Try again. Respawn. I'll pop you in the head from across mid again.
No one can do everything, so it's like, who cares, you know? Like, I can't dunk. I don't want to be in the NBA. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's not a big deal to me. Like,
yeah, it's not because you're white.
Qualified to do everything.
But you're not going to go on a rampage downtown Minneapolis shooting people that are good at basketball.
Right. Like,
exactly. That's the difference between
lower the rim because I want to be in the NBA. Like, no, I'm not qualified.
And you're not going to burn down a city to get the rims lowered 6 feet. That's not going to happen. You should 4
like
feet,
5
3 feet. I don't know what, you know, spitballing here. Meters. We'll go 3 meters there. Whatever. Oh
but
shit,
like,
that's 9 feet.
The same idea. Like, it's okay if your husband is the one who does a hard labor job and you cook, or vice versa. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, why are people so against gender roles? And like, to a point, like, utilize it. Like, biologically, males and females are different. So like, play the cards you were dealt to your advantage. You know,
Absolutely.
Like, why? People try so hard to be something they're not, and it's like, why? Just take on, like.
Look at OnlyFans. How many dudes are on there making money?
Exactly. How many, like.
Time to riot.
Yeah.
I'm going looting later. I got my looting shoes on tonight, boys. Extra grippy. Yeah, no,
Take back what you're owed, right?
Yeah, I mean, but again, yeah, you know, like you said, Ron, you got boys. You know, you and your wife are going to do a tremendous job, you know, instilling the values that Big Ron and your mom did. But I can already see it. I mean, it's you are, so You know, you don't have to be bashful. You're doing a phenomenal job at it. And I can see it.
Thank you.
You know, you can see it in the videos and the pictures you guys put. I mean, kids are either happy or they're not. And if kid isn't happy, there's only one reason a kid is not happy. It's either got shit in its pants, it ain't been fed, or it's fucking miserable. It's the only three ways a kid is pissed. And I don't even have kids, but I was a kid. And that's when I was mad. So you're doing a great job. So don't sell yourself short. Right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but like
Yeah,
it's, you know, and I'm
get
sure
it.
you can't imagine, you know, look at like Ellis. I mean, school's coming up, right? At some point soon.
Yeah,
Couple
next
years,
year.
next year.
Yeah.
I feel like you really dodged a bullet not having to deal with it this year. You know, like, I mean, holy shit. It's not something I think I'd ever say to Ron, hey, man, I'm glad your 4-year-old isn't dealing with kindergarten this year. Like,
Yeah.
is that something I ever thought I would say to Ron? No. But it is, and it is what it is. But the people that make big deals out of little problems and create bigger issues for people that didn't know they had a problem in the first place, it's all got to stop. Let people think for themselves. If they're dumb, don't go on their post and just bash them and call them a Nazi and be done. Just scroll past it. Unfriend them. Stop following them. Just stop.
Or,
You
yeah.
know? Just stop and just stop putting yourself in a position to get pissed off about it. You're like,
Yeah, life's too short, man.
It's exactly. It's too short to drive boring cars and be pissed off at everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, so
A lot of people don't realize that.
Derek-
Mike can confirm that, man.
yeah,
Well, that life is short. I mean, people die all the time, man. It's
part of
kind of
life.
makes you, when you're around it, man. It makes you appreciate it.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, you got to take advantage of everything you got. But we're at like 2.5 hours here,
Yeah.
and
I'm
we've
good.
had a lot of interaction. I can tell Ron's ready for bed. I need to go to bed. Mike, you look like you're 4 sheets in now.
I gotta work in 7 hours.
I know, same, bro. I feel
Yeah.
you. But I appreciate you being on here. We'll have to revisit the driveway scenario another
Yes,
time.
next
We'll leave
time.
that. That'll be our cliffhanger. But if you haven't already, make sure you hit that follow button and follow us in the group here on Facebook. I put the link to the YouTube channel in there. Make sure you hit subscribe and like the videos. We always clip important parts. Mike, you're gonna have a ton of clips up. Make sure you watch them and share them with your friends if you feel like this is information you want to see out there with all the other bullshit floating around. If you can't beat them, join them. Flood the feed. That's my motto. Flood the
Hey,
feed.
do you have like a good filter you can put over this to make me look a little better?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
I mean, I have a Pientka filter. It'll just enhance you to a level 12,000. But
Level up.
yeah, you know, we could do like a face match with Julio if you really want to get crazy. But
There we go. Now we're talking.
exactly. But thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for participating, Ron. I appreciate you being on here, Mike. I know we pestered you for months to be on here, but thank you. It was great. Do you feel like you got to voice your opinion a little bit and kind of get some shit off your chest?
Yeah.
Good. It's the best answer of the night.
Do it again.
Yeah, we'll collaborate. So,
Do it again.
everybody, thank you. Ron, do you have any final words? Mike, do you have any final words?
No, thanks, Mike. Always
No,
good
it's
talking to you,
fun.
brother.
Do it again.
It'll
Yeah.
be great. It'll be a great time. So with that, got the stream off. You guys have a great night.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah.